From Darling Stadium in Hampton, WHCS Cable Channel 46 presents Group AAA Division 5 State Semifinals, the Culpepper Blue Devils and the Hampton Crabbers. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to a sun-drenched and gladly not rain-drenched Darling Stadium for this battle between two undefeated teams, the last two undefeated teams in Group AAA Division 5, the Culpepper Blue Devils and the Hampton Crabbers. Bob, this is what you wait for all year. On a personal note, I was in bed an hour ago, dying, and I told my wife.
Just resurrected, right?
I told my wife, I said, unless I got a broken leg, I'm going to be there.
Well, if you had a broken leg, I'd think killing after you.
But we are here for the game. Now, Hampton's going for the 5th consecutive state championship. They're number 1 in the state, number 5 to 7 in the nation, depending on who you listen to. I think it should be higher, but that's another story. What do you see in today's ballgame?
Well, you know, first of all, and it's what I talked to Mike a little bit about. It was an article in the paper about that offensive line of the Hampton Crabbers, and they just do a great job starting with Mike Smith, no relation to the coach, at the center position. And then from there, it just goes out. You got the Williams kid, and I'm talking the big kid, just a sophomore. And I was talking to Ron Baton earlier today. He says this kid is fast. They're going to have him running track next year. We're talking 6'3", 335. If he's running, fella, get out of his way. But, I mean, these guys work real good with, and it's hats off to Coach Danny Mitchell and his offensive line that they do a great job. They might not knock the opponent down, but there's no way he's going to get the tackle. And that's what you want. They execute so well on offensive line that it makes the running backs and the quarterback, makes them real happy because they don't have people down there in their face all the time.
I know when you talk to Coach Lou Sorrentino, we'll talk about the offense for this team. But the defense for the Blue Devils has done extremely well. They started slowly. This team only won their first 3 or 4 games by 3 points per game on the average. The last 5 games, they've only allowed 8 points once and 7 all the rest of the time. So that speaks well for their defense. However, the Hampton Crabbers, on the other hand, 12-0. 8 shutouts. So I think, talk about the offensive line, it's going to have to be a good offensive line play today because that's going to be the trigger is to overcome this defense.
Well, and the defense that Hampton's going to run into today is a 4-4. They've seen it before, and that's what was the change in Culpepper. They went to a 4-4 after the 3rd game, and they've started playing much better defense. They've got some good personnel. But what they have to realize when they run into the Hampton Crabbers is the speed that they have on defense. And you have to look at Raymond Mann when you start talking linebacker speed, 6'2", 235, runs a 4.5 40. I mean, he'd go anywhere in the nation he wanted to on a football scholarship. He is that type of a player. But the rest of the team complements him. They got a lot of speed on defense, and that's what's going to make the difference in the Culpepper game today is their quarterback, is he going to have time to find his receiver and throw it? Are those 2 running backs that run one over 900 and the other over 1,000, are they going to be able to get through that line of scrimmage? I think it's going to be tough on them.
Well, and of course, the big difference is I even think their coach said it in the paper. They haven't played a defense like the Hampton Crabbers. And you can get 1,000 yards and 900 yards, but it's against a lot different types of defense than you'll see on this field this afternoon.
Well, this is a step above anybody they've played all year. There's just no doubt about it. You go to anywhere in the state of Virginia, and you talk about how tough the districts are in the state. The number 1 district is always the Peninsula. Because if you get through the Peninsula District, you can win a state championship. Trouble is, you can't get through the Peninsula District.
Well, we had a chance a little earlier to talk with head coach Lou Sorrentino, and we'll be right back. But first, let's go back in time and listen to that interview.
I have Culpepper's coach, Lou Sorrentino. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations. So 12-0, anytime you go undefeated, it's a great season.
It really was and is, and we're excited about being here and playing such a fine opponent. But our kids have done a great job this year, and we're excited about this opportunity.
Well, you've got 2 good running backs and a young man that can throw the ball right well.
Well, we believe in diversity, and we've seen some teams that can run the ball, and we've seen some teams that can throw the ball, and we try to mix it around. Our quarterback and wide receiver set school records, and our running backs, we have one over 1,000 and one at 900 yards. So we've been pretty diverse all year, and hopefully we'll be able to match that today.
Well, and that always makes you feel good when you don't have just one thing that you have to fall down on. What kind of a kicking game? I don't know anything about your kicking. You got a good kicking game?
Yeah, we got a real fine kicker. Mike Greenaway's a junior and is a talented kid. Our punting game has been okay. You know, as a coach, maybe you're never satisfied, but that's been adequate. But our kicking game, I think I'm real pleased with our kicker, Mike Greenaway. He's done a great job.
Great. What do you expect from Hampton today?
Well, Hampton's awfully good. I mean, you don't win 4 state championships for nothing, and they're another level than what we've seen all year. So we're 12-0, and we're definitely the underdog, and we kind of relish that role and look forward to this opportunity. But they are a step above anybody we've played so far, so it'll be a good test for see where our program's at.
Very good. Listen, congratulations again. Good luck today, Coach.
Thank you.
This young quarterback, Mike Jenkins, he runs the ball well. He threw 25 touchdown passes. He has the all-time records for his school. But, as we said, did he face a defense that can play as well as Hampton?
And I just don't think he can. And that's going to be one of the keys is, can that offensive line of Culpepper, can they hold back that defensive front 5 plus the linebackers of the Crabbers? I think it's going to be a real test to their ability. And the coach's staff feels that if they can get to the final quarter and still only trail a touchdown or two, then he says that we still may have a chance. But they may be trailing a little more than a touchdown or two in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's why they play the game, you know. We talked about the offensive line. We talked about the defense. We didn't talk about the offense. It kind of speaks for itself. You got Mac Jones. You got Marcus Hagan's just having an incredible year. You've got Forte, Carl Calloway. You've got Fenner. You've got Carlos Campbell, the X Factor. These guys are just too much. And quite frankly, if I were asked to tell you what I think the score will be in this game, I think Hampton will win by 3 touchdowns at least. So.
Well, I'm not going to dispute that at all. I think that that's probably a safe bet at this point. Oh, okay.
All right, let's go back in time as Bob had a chance to talk with head coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers.
I have Coach Mike Smith with me. Coach, again, getting to this level is always part of your game plan when you start the first of the year, but you're beating a team that's the only other undefeated team in Division 5 this year in Culpepper.
Well, I guess that says they're a pretty good football team if they're undefeated. You know, we've played different opponents and came here by different measures, but, you know, they're a good football team. And if you go 12-0 and get to this point, then you expect they're a good football team.
And, you know, there was a nice article in the paper talking about your offensive line today, how good a job they do in opening up the holes. And, of course, the running backs and Marcus Hagan's always compliments them. You got to be real pleased with the way the offensive line has worked this year.
Well, you know, I think that's a compliment to Coach Mitchell. He works with the offensive line, and they've had a successful year thus far. I think, you know, they came back. We didn't have a lot of experience. We had 2 guys back with some experience on the line, and some of those youngsters stepped in and adapted and have done a good job. They've done a solid job for us so far.
Well, good.
We're real happy with them.
Listen, I know you always need to get ready to get to your team, and we're going to get this out over early today, but I want to again congratulate you on a fine job that you're doing over there with your coaching staff. You guys just make our job real easy, and good luck to you today, Mike.
Well, thanks, Bob. You know, it's always a pleasure to be here, you know, especially this time of the year.
I hear that. Stay tuned for today's starting lineups.
The following is a special presentation of WHCS Sports.
Back here at Darling Stadium, this afternoon's game is brought to you through the sponsorship of the following. Zoom Sitco with 5 Hampton locations.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
By Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. By your Allstate agents, Robert Mann and James Hudson. And in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. And in part by Wood Funeral Home, where Richard Pulley is the managing director. Well, Bob, we've been here before. This is nothing new to the Crabbers. 18 consecutive victories in postseason. 25 consecutive victories since they last tasted defeat in a 5 overtime game to Heritage.
But Tim, when was the last time they lost at this stadium? You got to go way back.
It was 1991, I believe it was.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they've lost here at the stadium. And, you know, you talk about tradition. Hampton is about tradition. Hampton, they have certain things they want to accomplish when they start the season. One of them is not to peak too soon. Mike Smith and his coaching staff, and you and I have talked about this before, how well they prepare these young men per each game building up to the to get into playoffs, and they really seem to focus on getting everybody ready and on the same page when they get into playoffs, because they are tough.
That's difficult to say that Hampton might not have peaked early in the season because they shut out their first 4 opponents. They didn't allow a point until the Heritage game, and of course that was the big game of the year supposedly, and they crushed Heritage 45-13. The only other teams to score on them were the field goal by Gloucester, a field goal by Western Branch, and Kecoughtan got a late touchdown. But that is it for the entire season. 2.2 points per game on an average.
And you look at the defense and you can understand why. Not only are they very talented, but they're very fast, very aggressive. They do a good job of wrapping up the ball player. They gang tackle when they have to. Hard to get outside on them. We're going to go down to the middle of the field, Tim, and our officials down there, Dennis Hall, the referee, is going to introduce the players and take us through the pregame.
How you doing today, gentlemen? There you go. How you doing? Nice weather for football. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, the other officials today are Mr. Speaks, the umpire, Mr. McKinney, the linesman. Ryan will be the field judge. Mr. Connors, the line judge, home side. Clock is official. If they have a problem with it, we'll take care of that later. You're going to do the calling. State of Virginia's heads, football is tails. That's a tail, State of Virginia's heads. Call it in the air, real loud so these gentlemen can hear it. If I drop it, we'll do it again. Heads. Heads he calls. It is a head. Choice. You want the ball. Which goal do you want to defend?
First goal.
All right, put your backs this way, gentlemen. Put your backs this way. White has won. They will receive. Shake hands, bring your teams out. Let's play football. Good luck.
Perfect day for football, Bob. 60 degrees.
And it don't get any better than this, Tim.
Doesn't get any better than this. All right, there are your officials again. Dennis Hall is the referee. Mark Speaks, the umpire. Jim McKinney is the linesman. Bob Connor, the line judge. Pat Ryan, the field judge. And Bob Scenderini is the back judge.
And Tim, I would like to take a minute real quick you'll notice that the officials have on a black ribbon. The high school league officials for today's game, of course, are signed from the northern region. The commissioner is William Nunley. Please note that the crew is wearing a black ribbon in memory of Tony Carter, a member of this crew for the past 6 years who passed away 1 month ago today at the age of 41 from a rare disease disorder known as scleroderma. This game is dedicated in his honor. And these officials have they did a game with the Hampton Crabbers in the playoffs a couple years ago. An excellent crew, and we appreciate them. Dennis taking the microphone and being mic'd so that we can hear what's going on.
All right, you heard it. Culpepper won the toss. They'll receive. Brian Smith kicks off, taken at the 13-yard line. Right up the middle. Running room all the way out to the 43-yard line.
Nice run back, stopped by big Raymond Mann, number 77. We'll give you a chance. We'll show you the offensive starters for the Culpepper Devils.
That was Jermaine Croop, or Croup at least, that ran it back 25 yards. So they'll start just shy of their 45. Here are the offense. Jenkins, Jones, and Kropp. Bache, Cagle, Jenkins the wide out, centers Miller, Stanley, and Duncan are the guards. The tackles are Mays and Kennedy, and Bache is your punter. Into the middle of the line, the first play as the Blue Devils bring the ball out to the 48-yard line, a pickup of about 4.
But they're trying to center the Hampton line to see if they can get some movement on that line of scrimmage. I'll give you the defensive starters for the Crabbers. And there you see the guards are Williams and Ware, the tackles Robinson and Forte, the ends Williams and Gunter, the linebackers Jones and Ham, the corners Hagens and Fenner, the safety is Camel, and the kicker is Brian Smith. And we have movement.
We have flags down. We'll let Dennis Hall tell us.
Yeah, false start on the offense.
So that'll cost the Blue Devils 5.
And, you know, that really hurts you if you're the Blue Devils, Tim. Here you are, you picked up a real positive yards on the first down. You're second and 6, and now all of a sudden you're second and 12.
11 to be exact, but you're absolutely right, Bob, and these are the type of mistakes that you cannot make at this level. Jenkins has plenty of time, back to throw, and it's dropped, almost caught at the 48-yard line of Hampton, but couldn't hold on to it. That's Dinkins, number 8, Matt Dinkins.
And he's the big receiver for them now. The young man, Jimmy Williams, is playing outside. They're playing defensive end, dropped back in the flat, dove for the ball, and maybe got in his way, maybe got a piece of the ball. I'm not sure.
Let me correct myself. That's Terrence Dinkins.
Terrence Dinkins, right.
So incomplete, stopping the clock with 11 minutes and 1 second left here. Just underway from Darling Stadium. This game videotaped on Saturday, the 27th.
That sounds good to me.
No success for Jones as Brandon Jones tries to turn the right corner.
And he ran into Alfonso Gunter. Gunter says, oh no, you're not going around this end.
Got back to about the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage, where it brings up 4th down and about 10. Here's the replay.
Watch Gunter grab him as he makes the turn right here, and he just reaches out and grabs him, and he's not going to go anywhere. And you notice there were 4 other Crabbers around him.
Back's line drive is fielded at the 15 by Higgins. Higgins hesitates, and he who hesitates is down. 15-yard line, no return for Higgins as he was trying to set up a return, but not able to do so.
Watch the offense. Quarterback, of course, Marcus Higgins. The fullback, Chuck Forte. The tailback is Mac Jones. Wideout, Carlos Campbell. The split end, Derek Fenner. Tight end is Carl Calloway. Center, Mike Smith. The guards are Chris Perry and Dale Tidwell. The tackles are Robbie Robinson and Raymond Mann. And the punter is Alan Johnson.
Bates' 39-yard punt and a 2-yard return for Higgins. So now the Crabbers from their 16-yard line. Right up the middle to Mac Jones, and the Mac truck is at the 20-yard line, a pickup of about 3. Original line of scrimmage is about the 17. Let me correct myself. So we picked up 3 on the first down. Now let me give you the defense for Culpepper. The tackles are Fuller and Lambert. The ends are Bates and Young. The outside linebackers are Robinson and Dawes. The inside backers are Bailey and Winings. Orange and Rogers are the corners, and Barber is the safety. Second down, Higgins on the pitch to Mac Jones. Jones gets the corner, but not much more than that, as the Culpepper defense did a good job of coming up to stop him after a short gain.
Well, you know, you don't play and give up as few points as Culpepper has this year and end up undefeated without having a good defense. They say defense will win championships for you, and they show that they have some good defense. Brings up a, what was that, about 3rd and 4, Tim?
Long 3, short 4, however you want to term it. Crabbers need to get to the 27-yard line to get a first down. On the option, Higgins sees a hole, crosses the 25 to very close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot.
It's really going to be close. You're right. He just kind of followed the left guard to left tackle and tried to pick up and find the seam.
Number 3, Curtis Robinson. Number 7, Brandon Jones.
Dennis Hall says it's too close for me to call, so let's bring the chains across.
We're going to have an official timeout.
He either made it by an inch or missed it by an inch, Bob.
You're not going on the end?
Yeah. I'll go out on a limb.
Well, you're going to wait till he falls?
Well, sure. Right after he calls it.
He got it.
Got it by the tip of the ball. That's all you need.
And that's a big first down because it really gives him better field position.
I'll tell you the truth. I was going to say he didn't make it. I did not think he made it, but I knew it was very close.
Well, and fellas, I'm talking to the fans out there listening to us. This is Tim Cole talking. It may not sound like him, but it is Tim.
Quick handoff up the middle. Forte, he's across the 35. And that's a gain of almost 9 for the Crabbers.
Well, they went in there in a 4-4 defense, Tim, and they put people up on line of scrimmage, and then the 2 linebackers started to shoot the gap, and there was nobody there to tackle big forte. And I'm talking young man is 6 foot 245, and he's a load to bring down.
Gain of about 8.5. Let's call it second down and a long 2. And that'll be a first down.
And Tim, he was hit at the line of scrimmage and just kept his feet going. And that again is Chuck Forte.
We remarked last week when Hampton beat Heritage how infrequently they passed, especially in the first half. They opened it up later on.
Well, they threw, what, 3 passes at one time and had 2 touchdowns. Tim, with that kind of success, you don't need to pass a whole lot.
First down again. Higgins wants to throw. Got Callaway at the 50 to the 45.
What a nice throw. Tim, right between 2 defenders, number 5 and number 9. Number 5, of course, is Stephen Barber. Number 9 is Matt Oskins. And just put that ball right where only the Callaway, the tight end, could catch that ball.
Higgins on the season, 77 pass completions in 166 attempts for better than 1,700 yards, 25 touchdowns. That play, by the way, good for 19 yards. And, of course, Higgins complements his great passing with 600-plus yards of rushing and 12 touchdowns. Oh, did I mention he also intercepted 9 passes?
Oh, you didn't mention that.
Yeah, just that. Higgins in trouble. Scrambling and will not get away. Nice defensive play by number 32. That is Jeremy Bailey.
And he's one of the inside linebackers.
Loss of 8 on that play. Ball all the way back to the Hampton side of midfield.
Really got some pressure that time on Marcus, made him come out of the pocket. The young man, Jeremy Bailey, had a head of steam, and Marcus just couldn't get away from him.
You don't see Higgins get caught very often. Second down and 18 for the Crabbers. No score. We're almost halfway through the first quarter. And now a flag, and they just took too much time to get the play off.
So we've seen that happen more than one time with the Crabbers, but it never seems to hurt them too much. So now we got a second in what, 23? Do they have a second and 23 play, Tim?
Oh, they got several then.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I thought you knew.
Yep, and I also know that Citgo at Zooms, or Zoom Citgo.
Yeah, one of the
5
two.
convenient locations. They got a great Citgo gas at Zooms. From the 44. In motion is Mac Jones. Plenty of time to throw. Mac Jones is the intended receiver. Just can't hold on to it.
Just a little bit behind him and over the top. Tim, we will pick a player of the game from the Hampton Crabbers this afternoon. That player will receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Engraving Inc., located at Tab Square on Route 17. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 596-8850. Dave Buchwald is the owner. The shirt comes from the Island of Hardware and Sporting Goods. They're located in Pocosin. They can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment, uniforms, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner.
I guarantee you they'll go back to that play. Mac Jones was open. Higgins just threw a little bit behind him. Jones in motion, same setup out of the shotgun. Higgins with plenty of time. Over the middle, got Carlos Campbell, and it's too tall for Campbell. And that goes incomplete. Defending on the play was Stefan Orange. And that'll bring up 4th and 23. The Crabbers will probably bring on the kicking team.
Well, Tim, the wind, if what wind there is on there is kind of gusty sometimes, and it's behind him, and it's caused that ball to kind of float on him. Tom Gear is involved with the Boys and Girls Club of Hampton. They are in the process of raising money to build a new gym. Your donations would be appreciated. If you have any questions, call Tom Gear at 827-8277.
Alan Johnson comes on to kick for the Crabbers, and it's a short snap to Mann. Raymond Mann, he's got 23 yards to go, and he will not get there. Fake ends up giving the ball to Culpepper at midfield.
Well, that's one thing about Hampton. You never know what they're going to come up with. You're in good hands with the Allstate agents, Robert Mann and James Hudson. Call them for all your insurance needs at 827-1200.
On that play, a direct snap to Raymond Mann, who we've talked about his speed, and the element of surprise might have been there, but a good job by Culpepper to be prepared for that. And they have the ball at midfield. And now into the open and knocked down after a 9-yard gain.
Carlos Campbell.
Brandon Jones. His like number met him and put him on his back, but not before Jones picks up 9 yards. You get a little bit of a enjoyment out of the hit, but not giving up 9 yards out of whack.
Well, he's your safety. He shouldn't have to be making those plays. You're hoping your linebackers and your defensive line will get them.
Sticking on the ground and picking up the first down is 24 Jermaine Kropp. I'm going to call him Kropp for lack of knowing for sure how to pronounce his last name. It is spelled C-R-O-P-P. And again, I apologize to any of the Culpepper players that are pepper. How about some pickled peppers for the Culpepper players? It's hard.
You're doing all right, Timmy.
There you saw the drive for the first down by Kropp.
Well, if it gets real bad, killing can change places, right?
His job's too tough for me. Jones gets the call, and Jones picks up yardage to the Hampton 35-yard line. That's a pickup of 3. 5:07 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. Each team has had the ball once and not been able to do anything with it. Now the Blue Devils, with it for the second time, have the ball at the Hampton 35. Double wide receivers set up to the near side. That's Dawes along with Dinkins. Jenkins back to pass. Short drop, throws incomplete, too tall for the intended receiver. That was Daniel Winning, number 23.
Well, he was being covered by number 21, Jimmy Williams, Jr.
So the double wide receivers were kind of a a decoy, because they really intended to go right to the man coming off the line.
Well, they was hoping that the two receivers would take those defenders down the field and they could swing the ball to Winning. But this brings up a 3rd and long.
They're down and 7 as the Devils need to get to the Hampton 28-yard line to keep this drive going. Out of the shotgun, Jenkins has plenty of time. Flag is down, and the ball almost picked off by Higgins.
Well, I bet we have offense. Well, I don't know. It's clear back here.
Cagle was the intended receiver. We'll let Dennis Hall tell us the infraction. And it's against the offense.
Well, it's illegal procedure. You just say no go and makes it 4th down, right?
That would be my thought. Here's your replay. Pretty good.
Illegal formation on offense. Decline. 4th down.
Illegal formation. Now, Tim, at this point, there's no way they're going to try a field goal, so I assume they're going to go for it. You're at the 35, you kick it, goes in the end zone, you're picking up 15 yards. Unless your punter is very accurate and can get the ball inside the 10 to 15, but I think the quarterback's back in at number 16. Mike Jenkins, big kid, Tim, 6'4", 235.
Out of the shotgun, needs 7. Jenkins had plenty of time. Another flag down, and this time it's complete. This is Dinkins, and Dinkins is inside the 15, but a penalty flag on the play.
Again, I don't think they had enough people on the line of scrimmage. Both of the wideouts were back off the line of scrimmage. You see a flag on both sides of the field.
Well, let's see. They're discussing it with Culpepper. Illegal procedure against Culpepper. So they're just explaining why, apparently. The infraction will negate the fine pickup by Dinkins. Mike Jenkins having all kinds of time back there, Bob. He could knit a sweater back there.
Illegal procedure, 6 men on the line, offense.
See, well, again,
you
need to have, you can have 8 men on the line of scrimmage, but you got to have at least 7. They only had 6 on the line of scrimmage.
So now that changes the complexion of things, at least apparently. We've already seen Hampton fake a punt.
But, Tim, this is not their normal punter. This is the quarterback, isn't it?
No, that's Bates.
Is that Bates? 45. I can't. Okay, I couldn't see the number.
He's a big kid, too. He will kick it, and he will boom it. This one will go into the end zone, and Campbell took it out. He had a foot in the end zone. They allowed him to bring it out. Interesting.
Well, no, that's that's on a kickoff, Tim. You can run back punts and whatever out of the end zone, but on kickoffs you can't.
Good point. Guess they're used to that kickoff rule that you, absolutely right, a 40-yarder, but a nice 14-yard return. Of course, if Campbell had allowed it to go into the end zone, it would have been at the 20, but hindsight is always.
Well, up here, you and I know where that goal line is. He's looking at the ball. He's not concentrating where the line the end zone is.
All right, Hampton for the second time with the ball, and this time they give right up the middle to Forte. And Forte picks up some yardage out to the 21. So it's been kind of like two heavyweight boxers so far, Bob, kind of sparring, trying to feel each other out. And I'm impressed with one factor of Culpepper's play so far is the protection that they're giving their coach Jenkins, their player, quarterback Jenkins.
Yeah, he's had a lot of time to throw that ball.
Second down and about 3. And this will be a first down across the 25 all the way to the 28 or 29.
That was Mack that time, the Mack truck.
The Mack truck took it up the middle. Mac Jones on the season now. He's got 155 carries for more than 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. So the big Mack truck picks up a fresh set of downs for the Crabbers. Real quickly, here's the replay. As you watch Jones, good blocking by that offensive line. We spoke about them before the game. Did a good job. And this is, again, Jones. And Jones will pick up maybe 3 or 4 out to about the 37-yard line. So right now, it's been pretty much a running attack for both teams. 2:50 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. The defenses have been superb for both of these teams in this game as well as all season. Crabbers, second down and 6. Higgins rolling to the near side.
And he's just running, Tim. He's not doing anything but going to run.
Pushed out of bounds, but not until he gets to the 42-yard line, which will be another Hampton first down.
That was a run all the way. Do want to talk about our crew today, our mobile cable technicians, Asa Carroll and Era Town, slow-mo Bev Penn as you watch the replay. Well, Bev says next time. Cameras, Nathaniel Braxton, Susan Bauer, Ron Baton, engineer Don Scharouse, graphics and audio Andy Foley, and the director, of course, Scotty Bowers. Talk a little bit about Era Towns and Asa Carroll in a second.
First down for the Crabbers. This is Wyatt, Stephen Wyatt in the ball game for the first time, and he crosses midfield to the Culpepper 49-yard line. We've got a lot of new people working with us today. We've got Era. Say that again, Scotty. Asia is not here today.
Oh. Well,
there you see. There's our mobile cable technician.
that young lady, Tim, is ranked number 40th in the nation in the 100-yard dash. And if you're in the top 100, you're guaranteed a scholarship. And her counterpart that's usually here is also ranked one of the top 100 in the nation in the 200.
A stoppage of play. I'm not sure exactly why. It looks like Raymond Mann is coming out and will be attended to by Diane Limerick. It's possible that he might have suffered a cut. In any event, he is replaced in the offensive line by Stephen Williams.
Now, you called Stephen Williams pork chop the other day, Tim. They call him Big Cat because he is very fast. And we have a late flag coming in, and I don't know if that's holding against the Crabbers.
Boy, that was a late flag. So the gain was enough for a first down, but a holding call at the end of the play, which is somewhat unusual. The infraction occurred just after the Crabbers got to a first down at the 44.
We have a hold on offense. Replay second down.
So needless to say, an unpopular call with the Hampton faithful, but that wipes out a first down.
Well, it's still 2nd and 7, so we're going to have a timeout here by the Crabbers. I think Mike Smith wants to get a clarification of that call.
I did not see it. I saw at the end of the play a gang of tacklers and offensive blocking, but it's so unusual to see a holding call when you have a huddle like that.
Yeah. HCS Reports has a new look. Join anchor Beth Sadler Monday through Friday at noon and again at 5 p.m. for all the news and information about the Hampton City Schools. And again, the WHCS Channel 46 presents your school board meetings live on the first and third Wednesday of each month at 7:30. So tune in and be informed.
And we also want to mention that we're very happy to have Wood Funeral Home as one of our community supporters again this year.
That's Steve Williams' father. Just want to make a point in the middle of the screen there. Go ahead.
Well, I will finish. Wood Funeral Home, where the funeral director is Richard Pulley. On staff are Bill Leggett and Bill White. They're going to get after you for stepping on my line about who they are.
Well, if I didn't do that, we wouldn't have been able to say there's Stephen's dad, and he has to foot the bill to feed the young man, so we better give him some airtime.
Seems reasonable. All right, second down and about 7. Forte gets the call, and he's got good yardage to the 45 and to the 44. That'll be another Hampton first down.
Well, again, they put Mac Jones in motion, and the linebackers got to respect him because he was open a couple times on a pass play, just overthrown. It opens up the middle for Forte. He gets through that line of scrimmage, and he's just hard to bring down.
Well, I think what they're doing is Hampton is really rushing in the middle of that line to set up the pass. And I think this is what they're leading to here. Oh, Mac Jones met instantly on a beautiful defensive play by Daniel Winning. So the Blue Devils are right there and sniff out that play. Mac Jones thrown for a loss.
Well, that's that inside linebacker. Just shot the gap, Tim, and nobody touched him, and he was in the backfield about the same time Mac got the ball. Watch the replay. Watch him just come right up the middle there. You'll see him standing up. So there he comes, right through. Nobody touched him.
Half a minute, actually less than a half a minute now, as we're down to 21 seconds. This could be the last play of the first half.
No, let's try first quarter.
First quarter, excuse me. These cold medicines are really good. Higgins with all day. Wants to throw deep. And his man, has he got it? At the 1-yard line.
How about the Alexander man? What a nice catch, Tim. He concentrated on it. I don't see how he could not have scored that touchdown.
It sure looked like he went into the end zone with the ball, but I guarantee you Hampton.
Watch the replay and watch the time that Marcus Higgins has to throw the ball. No pressure on him at all, Tim.
He just throws it up to the goal line, a post. And right there, looks like he got into the end zone.
Yeah, I don't know how he could say no, he didn't get in, but that's the official. And again, that's the end of the first quarter.
He was right there, Bob. There was no chance for that official to blow that call. He was right there as the ball came down. Hampton Chevrolet is locally owned, and they strongly believe in supporting both the community and the schools. Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. Well, I don't think anyone would have expected a scoreless first quarter.
Oh, I don't think we should have had a score.
Yeah, darn close to it.
Right, did you talk about the Zooms?
Well, I mentioned Zooms, but I didn't mention what you're probably going to mention.
Yeah, because Zooms is, we do want to thank Zooms because they give an award to the senior football player on each one of the teams this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. There are 4 players, and those 4 players received plaques at a school board meeting a couple weeks ago. And we want to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support to WHCS and our student athletes. And, of course, on the Hampton Crabbers, number 10, Alan Johnson, was the recipient of that. We want to thank him for that. David Allen, of course, and from Phoebus High School, Morris Shanks. From Bethel, Clifton Copley, and from Kickotan, John Swan.
40 yards on that pass completion from Higgins to Alexander Mann.
Do you think you might give the ball to the big guy?
Oh, yeah.
Either that, or you might just say, if you're Marcus Higgins, you say, hey, I just followed my big center, Mike Smith.
Lots of options.
And I say big, he's not huge, but he is big and hard, and he really moves his people out.
They're going to give it to Forte. And no signal yet, so apparently they've stopped Hampton short. It's got to be on the 1-inch line if there were such a thing. So just like That major investor we hear about, Hampton's going to have to earn this touchdown. There you see.
Tim, he has crossed the line of scrimmage. I mean, crossed the end zone. All you have to do, the ball's got to break that scrimmage or that line.
Well, I thought so. Now, Forte, they still say he didn't get in. They say he's on the 1-inch line again. Okay. The Hampton side is voicing their disgust with the spot, but that's right there.
But official better get a better view of that, especially the time before that.
Well, you know, in all fairness, we're having at an angle here, and we can't see it from the same angle as that official, the side judge.
Well, where's our camera? Watch it. There we go. We got the camera guy down there. We got Ron Beaton.
Camera guy, that's it. And is he in? They say no. 3 consecutive drives with the fullback and no touchdown.
Well, right now, that time it didn't look like he got in, but Tim, I tell you, you got to take your hat off to that defensive group. Watch the replay.
Yep, that was a good call. Yeah, and that's the point. The body got over the goal line, but the ball apparently didn't. And quite frankly, anyone who knows football knows that's what counts. It's not your body, it's the ball.
That's right. The first time, you know, Scotty made a good point. The ball got over the first time, but Tim, you could go up and over. And he's just trying to bull it in.
Well, give Culpepper a huge applause here, as they just have done an outstanding job. 1st and goal inside the 1, and now it's 4th and goal. And they are bringing on the troops. No field goal attempt. Crabbers want 6 here. Raymond Mann on the right side. Higgins will just get in himself, and finally they do score.
How you could not call that one, I don't know. But I thought Marcus would have done that sooner.
Higgins a little bit upset about the lack of a touchdown call previously, but needs to maintain his cool. So the Crabbers do get the first score. It's a 1-inch plunge, if you will, by Marcus Higgins. Officially 1 yard. Comes with 10:22 left in the first half. Ryan Smith is on, and his kick is good. So Higgins, who set up the touchdown with the 40-yard pass to Alexander Mann, gets the touchdown. That is his, let me see if I got that statistic correct here. I want to thank the fine writers over at the Daily Press. That would be his 13th rushing touchdown of the season. All right, here's the touchdown from the ground level. And you see that time clearly.
There was no doubt.
86 yards, 13 plays. It took 5 minutes and 13 seconds for the Crabbers, but they very methodically marched down the field. Of course, the big 40-yard pass play was the big factor. So Hampton now is on top 7-0. Looking for their 5th consecutive Group AAA Division V state championship. Let me tell you something. Culpepper made him work for that one. Give the credit to that defense.
Well, Tim, that took just over a minute and a half, 1 minute and 38 seconds.
The first goal. I'm like you. I thought Mann got in the end zone when he caught the ball, but it was, again, a good call. The official was right there. Brian Smith will boom it. And this one will go in and out of the end zone. And I know this rule. They cannot bring it out. They'll have to spot it at the 20.
That one you got.
That one I got.
Glad to hear that. For all your printing needs, call Gear Up Printing at 1909 North Armstead Avenue at 827-8277.
Keeping my cough drops and my intravenous fluids coming here.
You're going to be okay. All-state agents Robert Mann and James Hudson can handle all your insurance needs from the car to the home. Call them at 827-1200. They're located at 942 Big Bethel Road.
In the ball game so far, by the way, Bob tells me that Culpepper has just 1 first down. Jenkins has plenty of time on the slant, and down to the knee is Dinkins. He cannot pick up, obviously, after that, but he gets 5.
I'll tell you, Tim, what it is when you got a quarterback as big as Jenkins, 6'4", he can see over those linemen, and that slant pattern is a real good tool for them. Dinkins just shoots right across the slant, unless you got a linebacker that just happens to read that and hop in that area. That's a pretty good pass play for them.
All right, halfway to a first down, 2nd and 5. And this is the handoff, and picking up about 3 yards.
Tim, it looked like to me that time they were in an unbalanced line. There were only 2 men on this side of the center.
Jermaine Kropp carried the ball. And they'll spot the ball at the 29-yard line. So it brings up 3rd down and a yard to go. Brandon Jones checks out of the lineup. Dinkins will come to the near side. Kropp is one of the running backs. And looks like Daniel Winning is the other split back. Jenkins big enough to take the quarterback keeper. Now calls timeout. Might have tried to pull the Crabbers off.
I think exactly what he tried to do.
Went with a hard count perhaps, and when he didn't get the response he was looking for, decided he better call a timeout.
Well, they're trying to catch Hampton on one of its favorite plays. They've done that many, many times through the years that we've been doing these games for the Crabbers. And you can teach your kids to be aware of this. You can explain it, you can go over and practice, but sometimes you get in the game and you know how the adrenaline starts flowing, and any little movement you're going to jump off, and Crabbers well disciplined. Didn't fall for that ploy.
Well, we've beaten this horse to death, but let's just say it one more time. One of the reasons so many people ask is how come Hampton continues to win. And there are a lot of reasons, but the biggest reason is the coaching and the thoroughness with which they teach the fundamentals to these kids. These kids know the game, they know what they need to do, and they are extremely disciplined.
And that is the key, it's the discipline, because by being disciplined, you listen to the coaches and you're doing what they say is right. They've been there before, they know what's going on.
All right, big 3rd down and a yard to go. Jenkins keeps it.
And I don't know if he got, but he may have gotten on the last, yeah, he did.
Oh, he picked up 2, almost 3. Looked for a moment like he might not.
Well, it looked like it was a busted play.
It did. I'm not sure whether he meant to fake and then follow the lead blocker into the line. However you slice it, it worked. Jenkins, of course, as we mentioned, 6'4", 235. Here's the very end of the replay, and Jenkins bulls his way to the 32-yard line where it's a first down. 2nd one of the game now for the Devils. Double wide receivers to the right there. That's Cagle and Dinkins. Jenkins has plenty of time, throws, and it's caught at the 42-yard line. And out of bounds at the 44, that'll be enough for a Culpepper first down.
Anthony Ware was putting pressure on Jenkins that time, but he had enough time to deliver that ball, and wide open receiver down the sideline over there.
Terrence Dinkins with the grab and another first down. So the Blue Devils have something working now. They're at their 44. Here's the replay. Again, Jenkins had plenty of time, good blocking. And there you saw Dinkins stayed in bounds and picked up a couple of yards more than he needed. So they're at the 45. This is Kropp. And he'll pick up a couple of yards on the right side.
Big Raymond Mann over there, I'm sorry, along with Stephen Big Cat Williams making the stop after pickup of a couple.
I do apologize for giving him a different moniker than he likes.
Well, he might like pork chops.
Well, he might like pork. That's not what they call him. He's Big Cat.
Big Cat. Ron Baton said he's a neighbor of his, and he's been fast ever since he's known him, and he is still fast.
Pickup of about 2.5 on the
it's a shuffle pass.
Shovel pass.
Nice play.
Brandon Jones got a late flag. Won't even speculate, but a late flag comes down. That is enough for a first down if it's not against Culpepper. Watch your replay.
Face mask.
So that's going to cost the Crabbers. A little shovel pass. Brandon Jones, good yardage. And more yardage tacked on. Dennis Hall will tell us.
We have a face mask under defense, 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
So Culpepper, with their deepest penetration of the ball game, have it at the Hampton 27-yard line.
Well, everybody from the Culpepper group that I talked to, the radio personalities and all that up here, said that we are the underdog, and we've let our guys know that, you know, you put your pants on the same way the Crabbers do, so don't get beat by the mystique.
Crop picks up a couple of yards to the 25. Well, we've talked about that before, too. You know, you have to go in, as I think the Heritage coach mentioned it, you can't lose the game on Monday mentally. You got to play.
No, that wasn't the Heritage team. That was the team before the Heritage. The
Western Branch.
Western Branch came over. That was their coach was a psychologist, and he said, "Don't lose the game Monday. We don't play till Friday."
Well, he's probably doing some therapy time by now, but Western Branch with a great season, but they ran into a wall with Hampton. Culpepper, second down and about 7. Again, Jenkins has all day, and he connects at the 11-yard line. Another first down. Carlos Campbell in on the stop, but a first down grab by John Cagle.
He was wide open. He just went down into that zone and watched the replay, Tim, and just found an opening. And they delivered the ball. Beautiful.
Lee. Beautiful Lee.
Yeah, well, I don't know about Lee if he was there or not, but it was a beautiful thrown ball. Oh, a beautifully thrown ball. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, if you are the only one that ever includes the LY in the end, that would be amazing. Ball just inside the 10. That's one of my favorite things to harp on the pro announcers. They leave off that LY all the time.
Well, that's why I got it.
First and goal, ball just inside the 10.
And they're not going to gain anything.
Jones tried to string it out, and
21, Jimmy Williams Jr.
And Mac Truck Jones. Oh, Mac doesn't mind if I call him that. He's too big to defend.
And he'll be back next year, as will Jimmy Williams. Jimmy is only a sophomore.
We are at the 6-minute mark. Here's the pitch, and coming to the near side is Jones, and Jones loses 3. Check that to give him forward progress to the 12. So loss of 2, second down and goal. Culpepper splits them out. He's got a wide open spread here. Jenkins getting the first pressure, slant pass over the middle, still running.
And he fumbled the ball. And looked like, I don't know, the Crabbers are pointing who got the ball.
We'll let the officials unscramble this, but this would be a huge turnover if they did. No signal yet.
It's the Crabbers.
Nope. No, it's not.
I thought he was okay.
Looks, yeah, the ball caught by Dinkins. This is a slant again to Dinkins. A nice catch thrown behind him. Did a good job of bringing the tackle. The ball came loose. It looked like the Crabber had the best shot at it, but you know, you've heard him say before, that ball might change hands 2 or 3 times.
And you got that right. Big break for the.
Oh, a huge break for Culpepper. 3rd and goal. Jenkins, play action. Has a man in the end zone. Touchdown. That is number 23, Daniel Winning.
You got to be impressed with this quarterback, Jenkins. He's really on target, very cool back there, and just found the receiver just as he got to the goal line. Watch this right there.
So the Blue Devils make it a 1-point ball game. Kick is up. It's long enough, and it is good.
And we got a tie game.
5:08 remaining in the half. Culpepper took the ball and drove the length of the field.
They did. That was an 80-yard drive. They started on the 20.
And that was an impressive drive.
Well, anytime that you can answer a score of another team, you got to get it. Gives a shot in the arm to both the offense and the defensive units. And what a great job that the Culpepper team did, especially Jenkins, taking that ball 80 yards and finding receivers. Tim, I don't know that he missed a pass completion on that drive. If he did, he only missed one.
11 plays, 5 minutes and 14 seconds, and he did not. Bob tells me that he was perfect in that drive, and I got to tell you something. His offensive line, now we talked about the Crabbers' offensive line, but the Culpepper offensive line has given him plenty of time. You give a quarterback of his caliber plenty of time to throw, in the abilities of this Dinkins, who had 46 catches on the season. You need to play a little better on defense. You're going to have to tighten up something. Kickoff after the touchdown. This is Fenner at the 5. Derek Fenner, 15, dances to the 17, and finally down at the 18-yard line. Derek Fenner brings it out 13 yards, and it'll be Crabbers' ball, 1st and 10 at the 18. So we'll see if the Crabbers, Crabbers have one timeout remaining on the scoreboard at least, and the Blue Devils have 2.
Well, we'll see if the Crabbers can answer the Culpeper Blue Devils.
Lots of time left in this game. There's no reason to deviate from your game plan or do something that's out of character. Mac Jones, and Jones is across the 20 to the 23. He picks up 5. I just keep thinking they're going to keep driving that ball in the middle and then open up the passing attack so that he can go long. But
well, if you remember, a couple of the passes by Hagens were wide open receivers that were just over their head. Watch this replay. Do a good job of tackling the Blue Devils do.
I haven't seen them weaken any area so far. Hagens on play action, has some running room, and now the running room evaporates as he picks up a couple of yards. But again, that same touchdown grab made by Winnings, he's on defense now, and he makes a stop on Hagens.
He playing the linebacker, Tim, and one of the outside line. No, I'm taking it back. He's one of the inside linebackers. He's not fooled by the stutter step of Hagens. Very sound fundamentally. They're going with wherever the man goes, they're going with him. They're not going to be faked out.
3:47 left in the half. 3rd down and about 2. Hagens pitches. This is Mac Jones. Jones has a lot of pursuit after him, but he gets the first down across the 30, check out the 29-yard line.
Well, that's exactly what he had his eyes open, Tim. He says, I'm not going to take it real wide because I may not get to the first down. I'm going to get that first down, and that's exactly what he did. Nice job by Mac Jones.
No less than 5 Blue Devils. Watch the replay. You're going to see at least 5 Blue Devils pursuing. And they're there, and you're right. And Mac Jones made a good decision to get what he could, which was the first down. Now Jones goes in motion to the top of the screen, out of the shotgun. Hagens is wrapped up. Ball came loose. Who's got the ball? Are they going to say it looks like they're going to play. They're going to say that he was down before the ball came loose. All right, we'll return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of the first half after a brief timeout.
Actually, Mike's
motion. 2nd and 10. Hagens sees some running room, cuts back 40, 41-yard line, another first down for the Crabbers. So Marcus Hagens showing his versatility. When the pass isn't open, he's run with it. So 41-yard line is where the ball is spotted. And a fresh set of downs for Hampton with 2:15 and the clock is moving. Our score is 7-all here at Darling Stadium. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz bringing you the Group AAA Division 5 state semifinals. Winner of this game plays either Yorktown or Henrico next Saturday at UR. Mac Jones in motion. Hand off to Forte, and Forte will get a yard, and that's about all.
Well, again, number 23 all over. He's just having a great game at the inside linebacker, and we're talking about Winning. Daniel Winning, 6 foot 190 senior, one of the leaders on this team.
Philip Young, 33 there as well. As the Crabbers now with 1.5 minutes to go and 1 timeout remaining. 2nd and 9. Do you throw the ball deep? You got Carlos Campbell wide to the left and Alexander Mann wide to the right. Got some blockers in the backfield, rolling and looking. Higgins has some time now. The protection breaks down. Now he still has some time. He got a man wide open. Man comes back to the ball at the 20. He is down to the 11-yard line. That'll be a first down.
What a great job Alexander Mann did, Tim, coming back to the ball.
That's something you can't even get most college players to do. He saw his quarterback in trouble, and he came back towards the ball. What a great play by young Alexander Mann. A 46-yard pass completion. And the Crabbers now with 1:03 minutes left, first down at the 12. Here's the replay. Higgins, he's rolling, looking this side. Now he reverses his field and just heaves it down for Alexander Mann. What you can't see is Mann has come back to the ball, and stopping the touchdown was Stephon Orange. And nothing happening here, as in fact a 3-yard loss on the play. And guess who again? Number 23 Winning. Man, this guy, he lives up to his name, doesn't he?
He does that. He is very aggressive, and Hampton takes their final timeout with 34 seconds to go.
So now it's 2nd down at the 15-yard line.
Tim, what you got to do is 2 times you got to go for the end zone, and then on the 4th down you bring in Brian Smith for the field goal attempt.
After the game, make that trip to Zooms. Zooms is your friendly neighborhood store with 5 convenient Hampton locations. One coming to my neighborhood real soon.
I know you're tickled about that. I'll tell you what, I'll lay you odds that the Crabbers going to make some adjustments in the second half, and somebody's going to be blocking number 23, because that young man, Daniel Winning, has been all over the field making defensive plays.
Well, let's just say they're going to try to. I don't know whether they'll succeed or not, but if anyone can, the red and black of Hampton can. We're looking at a second and 13 with a little more than a half a minute remaining with no timeout. So the Crabbers will have to, they've got plenty of time to complete a pass in bounds, but they would be tough. I think your thought is exactly right. We got Carlos Campbell split wide to the near side. Higgins wants to go to him at the goal line. Higgins now decides to keep it. He's inside the 10, and he's down at the 8-yard line. That will be with 23 seconds. He'll need to get up there and spike the ball.
Well, he can't. If he spike it, Tim, then they will go for the field goal, but you got a chance for one more time.
Well, now, what have we got here now? A stoppage of play.
Well, they had to get a clean ball in.
Now, that's a big break for the Crabbers because they stopped the clock with 14 seconds. Now they restart it. Higgins just puts the ball on the ground and stops it with 7 seconds to go. So now you got time for one real quick look to the end zone, maybe.
Well, you're 4th down. You got to go for the field goal.
I see that now. I'm sorry. You're right. They spiked the ball, and that cost them that down. So you're absolutely right. You ought to get some of these cold remedies. They just do wonders for your head.
You're seeing things that's not out there, right?
I'm just teasing, but you heard of Medicine Head before? All right, this is going to be a 25-yard field goal attempt. Ryan Smith has 6 on the year. This was long enough.
It's good.
And it's good. So with no time remaining on the clock, Smith ends the first half with a 25-yard field goal to give Hampton a 3-point lead at halftime. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the 3rd quarter of action after this brief timeout. Back at Darling Stadium, you see the Culpepper Blue Devils as they have returned to the field, and they have played Hampton even for all intents and purposes, with the lone difference a field goal as time expired in the first half by Brian Smith. That is the difference in the ball game.
Well, the Crabbers will get the ball at the beginning of the second half, Tim.
That's true. For the Culpepper Blue Devils, they rushed the ball 10 times for 31 yards. They did not have a touchdown rushing the ball. The leading rusher was Jermaine Kropp. He had 5 carries for 16 yards. Passing, Jenkins, 6 of 9, no picks, 53 yards, and of course the 1 touchdown in the first half. That was that 23-yard pass to Daniel Winning, who, if I had to pick the player of the first half, would get my vote without question. Dinkins, in the role of the main receiver, had 3 catches for 27 yards. They had 5 first downs, although they didn't get their first down, or at least their second first down, until well into the second quarter. But they did play much better in the second quarter. Fumbled the ball once, did not lose it, and they were penalized twice for a total of 10 yards. Total offense, 83 yards for the Blue Devils. For Hampton, they rushed the ball 25 times for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Of course, that touchdown, a 1-yarder by Marcus Higgins. The leading rusher was Chuck Forte. He had 7 carries for 30 yards. Passing, Higgins again with a minimal number of pass attempts, just 5 attempts, completed 3 for 105 yards. Of course, the big play was a 40-yarder to set up the touchdown. That, of course, was to Alexander Mann, who just did an outstanding job. Mann is the leading receiver with 2 catches for 86 yards. 10 first downs for the Crabbers. They fumbled the ball once, did not lose it. And they also were penalized twice, but theirs was 20 yards, and they had 196 yards total offense. 10-7 is the score at halftime. And, Bob, I am truly impressed with this Culpepper team.
Well, they really are playing a very inspired defense. And they're giving their offensive lines, giving their Jenkins, the quarterback, a lot of time. As big as he is, he has time to find his receiver. And his favorite receiver, of course, has been Jenkins, and he's been open quite often. The 1 fumble that the Crabbers had was recovered by Michael Smith, the center, doing a great job of bolstering that center of the defensive offensive line. And, of course, he also plays some on defense. The Crabbers going to have to make some adjustments. They're going to either have to get some pressure on the Jenkins, or they're going to have to tighten up a little bit on the pass coverage. But he's just seems to have a lot of time, Tim, to throw the ball.
Let's go down to the sideline right now with Ron Baton.
You're watching the Hampton Crabbers on Hampton Road's #1 TV station, WHCS TV 46.
Yeah, Ron's got that hard job again, doesn't he?
Well, that's the easy part of his job. The rest of his job isn't so easy, going up and down that sideline, and does a great job, as does our entire crew. And again, a belated happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We wish you and yours had a wonderful holiday, and hopefully the Crabbers will have something to give thanks for if they can win this ball game in the second half. Down just by 3 at halftime are the Culpepper Blue Devils, making a game of it. No question about that. Scoring was Higgins from 1 yard out. Brian Smith's point was good. And Winning on a 23-yard pass from Jenkins to tie it up. And then Brian Smith, as time expired, hit a 25-yard field goal. It's at least his 7th. I think I may have even missed one. I know he had 6 at the regular season. In any event, that was at least his 7th field goal, and we've talked about it before. Hampton doesn't usually get into situations where they need a field goal, but right now it's the difference in this ball game. Kickoff for the second half, taken at the 9-yard line, fumbled momentarily by Derek Fenner, and he'll just get to the 15-yard line. Special teams effort by Culpepper, doing a great job.
They really are. You need to get that ball up the middle, and Derek trying to go to the string it out a little bit, and just ran into some, right here you see, just ran into too many white jerseys, tried to bring it back and didn't get time to get it back. Again, Hampton starts inside the 20. Every kickoff, Hampton has not got the ball past the 20 on the 2 kickoffs that they've returned so far.
On 1st and 10, Higgins wants to throw. He's got Callaway at the 40, 50, down to the 40 of Culpepper.
What a nice job. They found something that is open, that tight end wide open. And so I told you about this Crabber offense and defense. They'll make some adjustments. Watch this. The tight end right up. In fact, he's split just a little bit, Tim, and just outrun the linebacker.
Carl Callaway with the big grab. 25-yard pass.
Well, they had him split out as he is again.
No, that's more like 35 yards, Bob. Mac Jones gets the call. He's wrapped up after a gain of a couple.
Dawes and number 45, Bache, making the stop after only a yard gain.
Correction on that 35-yard pass to Callaway.
Well, it was a pretty good pass.
So Mac Jones picks up about a yard and a half. 2nd down and a long 8. Higgins under the center. On the option. Now decides that Callaway is again wide open over the middle, and he can't hold on at the 10-yard line. He was so wide open.
Tim, he turned around, and when he did, that sun was right in his eyes.
Tough sun. He's looking right back at the sun. But that ball was catchable.
He's right there. Gear Up Printing is the place to go for all your printing needs as you watch the replay. Any business cards, letterheads, etc. You get the personal touch that's only available at Gear Up Printing. Located at 1909 North Armstead Avenue. Give them a call, 827-8277.
Tough catch for the big tight end to make, and he just couldn't hold on to it. Looking back at that sun that is setting. So that stops the clock with 10:44 left in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and a long 8. Out of the shotgun. Higgins has plenty of time. Now he gets some pressure. Got a couple of Blue Devils chasing him. Cuts it across. Still going. And will not get a 1st down as he will be stopped at about the 37-yard line.
You have to like the way the Blue Devils are containing Marcus Higgins as we have
I wanted to check on that.
Number 54, that's for the Crabbers. That's Dale Tidwell, one of the offensive guards. Tim is up limping, and Big Cat Williams comes in, Stephen Williams.
Tidwell will check out of the ball game as Diane Limerick comes over to meet him.
Watch the replay, Tim.
Higgins waiting for Culpepper to over pursue, and they did, in fact, but then the cavalry got there and prevented a big gain, and now we got 4th down and 7. Need to get to the 30. See if Hampton goes with the hard count. Nope. Quick snap. Higgins has some time, now feels the pressure. Got some blocking. Needs to get to the 30, and he falls down short of it. He would have had the 1st down had he been able to keep his footing.
He just had to get to the 30, and I believe where they marketed him, he's going to be short, and the ball will go over to the Culpepper.
No question about it. He got a good spot, but they're going to bring the chains across. But it's I said the 30. It was actually the 30 and a half that he needed to get to, but he got a very favorable spot there. Had he not lost his footing, I really think he would have gotten the 1st down easily. Here's the replay. Going to be short on the 4th down.
He's short. They're about the length of a football. Ball goes over.
Watch right here. You're going to see him try to cut, and as he did, he tripped up. And, of course, in high school ball, you obviously cannot get up and run after you've been down, regardless of whether you're in the grasp of a tackler or not. So the Blue Devils hold on defense.
For your security on the home or your auto or life protection, call the Good Hands people, Robert Mann and James Hudson, with Allstate at 827-1200.
All right, let's see what kind of adjustments the Crabbers might have made at halftime. This is an inside handoff, and not much happening there. Maybe a half a yard. Carrying the ball was Jermaine Kropp.
Well, they have had very little success running the ball and a whole lot better success passing the ball. I look for them to throw the ball.
Well, the Crabber defense has some great defenders. Talk about the number of interceptions as you watch the replay here.
That's number 24 with the ball, Tim.
Yep.
He just delayed. He delayed a count and then went off like an inside cross buck type of play.
1 yard gain out of the shotgun. Jenkins has plenty of time. Throws over the middle and it's caught. It'll be a foot race. Fenner will have to chase him down. He does inside the 5-yard line.
Went for the interception, Tim. You got to make sure you either get the ball or you knock the ball down. Fenner stopped the touchdown, but that gives Culpepper a great field position at about the
3-yard line.
The ball was underthrown, as you see here, Tim. It was underthrown, and 2 Crabbers went up for it right through the hands of one of them. I didn't see who it was.
I'm going to tell you, Fenner showed his speed by catching up with a very quick Dinkins. 65 yards on the pass play, and Culpepper now threatening to take the lead. Now we've got an official's stoppage of play. Now they've got everything reset. 10-7, Hampton, but Culpepper with a 1st and goal at the 3. Big Jenkins, the quarterback. Right side handoff, not in. See if Hampton can answer. Culpepper held the Crabbers for 3 downs on a 1st and goal, and finally on the 4th and goal, Higgins was able to punch it in, and the Culpepper Blue Devils now have a 2nd and goal. Ball is just between the 1 and 2. Big offensive line for the Blue Devils, and they have been doing a good job of opening holes. And see if the Crabber defense can do the job.
We got a stacked backfield.
Jenkins on the keeper, and I don't think he got in.
They're saying no, he's about at the 1, maybe just inside.
So that brings up 3rd and goal. The defense trying to keep Culpepper out of the end zone.
Mitchell comes in 6'3", 297, junior. Bolster that line and give him a little more beef on that line.
In the game now, Jenkins with 118 yards passing, Higgins with 140. And this is the little guy, touchdown.
And Hampton trails.
Brandon Jones. So something that hasn't occurred in a long time. That is the Crabbers trailing in a postseason game. Try that all-important extra point. Mike Greenaway. The kick is up. It's long enough, and it's good. So Culpepper, trying to upset the 4-time reigning state champions, have taken a 14-10 lead. 7:24 remaining in the 3rd. Plenty of time. I started to say when they didn't get that 1st down on 4th and he slipped and didn't get it, I just wondered how big of a momentum change that one could be.
Well, the big play was the underthrown pass that actually should have been picked off by the Crabbers that went through the hands or off like a tip drill, and they ended up with a long reception down to the 3-yard line. They being the Culpepper Blue Devils.
69 yards, 5 plays, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. There's the replay of the touchdown. Brandon Jones scoring to give Culpepper a 4-point lead.
Well, they've been kicking the ball to the left side, and Fenner has been getting it each time. And I noticed they put Fenner in the center, and they've got Carlos Campbell on the side over here.
Relatively short kick, fielded at the 16-yard line by Higgins. And Higgins is out to the 29. So now the Crabbers will go back on offense, trailing for the first time in the ball game. 18-game postseason victory mark in jeopardy. It was a 44-yard kickoff with a 12-yard return. Got a Culpepper player down. That is, I understand, it's 81. That would be Brad Cagle. So he will be attended to by the training staff from Culpepper.
Well, it's good to see him up, going off the field on his own power.
Give me a chance to remind you that Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling, they're locally owned and operated, and they service most brands. Give them a call at 825-1416 or 850-5564. All right, the Crabbers from just shy of their 29-yard line. They had found something with Callaway over the middle the last time. Let's see if they go back to that again. Quarterback draw play. Higgins, and again loses his footing as he crosses the 35-yard line.
Every time he tries to cut, his feet just go out from under him. That's the second time.
Well, you know, the fans may recall there was rain yesterday and even last night. The field is relatively dry, but it is a little slippery. Obviously, watch him on the replay. You'll see as he makes his cut. Of course, that's that area where there hasn't been any grass now for a couple of months. It's worn out from all the football played here at Darling Stadium. The pitch to Mac Jones, and Jones gets a couple, but that's about it. He'll be short of the first down as he is out to the 38-yard line, or just shy of the 38.
You got to be impressed with the way Culpepper is playing defense.
Well, you know, momentum, we talked about it. Now we've got an official's stoppage. They're going to look at this when they feel like it's close enough.
I think they're a good yard short.
I do too. The ball isn't even to the 38-yard line, and the marker is between the 38 and 39, but they will measure.
Well, better be safe than sorry.
Could be a request from the coach. So about a yard shy. By the way, we mentioned our crew. I didn't mention Bob Instant Statman Killen to my left here. Appreciate all of Bob's assistance in bringing all the goodies to you here on Channel 46.
That's why you sound like you know what you're talking about when you come up with the length of the drive and the number of yardage and all that. You're not just calculating that in your head. You're trying to tell me.
Oh, he writes it down for me.
Oh.
Flashes it with a big sign. So it should be third down and less than a yard. Crabbers want to keep this drive going. And in the neutral zone was Winning. So Winning, unless he was induced, will give the Crabbers a first down.
Yeah, there was no doubt that he just ran across there. He was going to stop that play up the middle, but what he did is end up giving the Crabbers a first down.
So Hampton does not have to work for it. They are given a gift by Winning, and believe me, that's the first time he's done much wrong. You can see Winning clearly into the neutral zone, almost into the backfield. So now Crabbers with a fresh set of downs. This is Wyatt, and Wyatt crosses midfield to about the 49, picks up 9 yards.
Very close to a first down. That young man is showing some surprising agility, Tim. He's just a sophomore, 5'9", 160.
You know, I'm talking about the coach from Western Branch. 2 carries for 17 yards, by the way, for Wyatt. But talking about the psychology, you know, Hampton hasn't trailed. And you have to wonder, what impact does this have on their psyche? How do they respond?
Well, they got Mac Jones in the
Higgins almost sacked, and now he will be. Emphatically back at the 39-yard line.
Philip
Young chased him down and slammed him down. A clean, nothing wrong with the play, but boy, did he ever get Higgins. And Higgins has not been stopped like this much in the past.
But Tim, you went from a 2nd and 1 to a 3rd and 13.
And here you see the quickness of the defense. They thought they had him there, and then Young just bulldogged him to the ground, and the sack is a loss all the way back to the 39-yard line. 3rd down and 13 for Hampton. Higgins fakes the short pass. Has some, what a pancake laid on one of the blockers. And the ball caught.
Well, that's Fenner.
Derek Fenner at the 10-yard line. A flag down back in the line of scrimmage.
The receiver downfield.
So now Hampton will not get the 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. Hampton faithful don't like it, but that's the call. One of those mistakes Hampton doesn't make very often. Beautiful catch by Fenner.
Oh, and looking back into the sun, Tim.
Watch your replay here. Fake the short on the near side.
Watch this block.
Campbell. What a pancake laid on number 79.
That was Chuck Forte.
Did not see the penalty, but it was called and negates that fine play. So Hampton has a big game play wiped out by a penalty.
Well, they got to get to the 48, 47-yard line.
3rd down. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down and about 17, almost 18. Hampton needs to hurry or they'll get a delay of game. Motion is Mac Jones. Higgins from the shotgun. Has plenty of time, looking for an open receiver and guns it. Is it complete or not?
Yes, he caught it.
No signal yet. Now they say yes, okay, a 1st down. So a huge play by Higgins to connect.
Campbell, what
Carlos
a catch.
Campbell.
What a catch.
Watch this replay. Higgins from the gun. Good protection. And just barely got it there. I mean, he rifled that thing right across the shoe tops, if you will. And a great catch by Carlos Campbell, the X Factor. 22 yards on the play. Hampton needed a 1st down desperately. Higgins will run to the right side and gets a block and is dragged down finally at the 20-yard line. And that will be a 1st down for the Crabbers.
And Higgins helped up Steve Barber, the safety, who had him by the collar but couldn't bring him down.
Watch the replay. This is a run from the get-go. That beautiful downfield blocking by Raymond Mann. Marked the ball at the 20-yard line, so it's 1st and 10 for the Crabbers, trailing by 4. 3:30 left in the 3rd quarter. Again from the gun, and now we've got flags.
And we may have
whistles.
movement.
Carlos Campbell on the left side might have left the line a little early. I'm only guessing at that.
Yeah, that's the call.
So again, the Crabbers being
We have a dead ball.
first own enemy.
Ball start. Offense, 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Things that Hampton doesn't normally do is give up those 5-yard penalties, which are mental errors. Ball is moved out to the 25-yard line. Still 1st down. 3:27 left in the 3rd. All 3 timeouts for both teams. Higgins has a convoy he was trying to follow, but no way. 48, Brandon Lambert just cut in there and grabbed him down for a after about a 3-yard gain.
Well, Tim, number 3, Curtis Robinson, is the one that really did that. He just would not let anybody get outside of him. He forced the play back inside where Lambert could make the tackle.
Here's the replay. You'll see what you're talking about here. Exactly right. Curtis Robinson sealed the end. That was his responsibility. So 2nd down and about 13 now. 2-yard gain on the last play. Again, operating almost exclusively from the gun. Throws for Campbell behind him and low, incomplete. So that'll bring up a 3rd and long.
Pass intended for number 7.
Good coverage, by the way, by Culpepper. They just do it all. They have good man-to-man coverage on the receivers.
Well, that's what the coach said in the interview, Tim, that we can throw the ball, or we can run the ball, and we can play defense. We got all the facets of the game covered.
That's what we got to have. 162 yards passing in the ball game for Higgins. But to this point, the offense for the Crabbers has been shut down. 3rd down, big 3rd down and 13. Mac Jones in motion to the near side. Again, Higgins working from the gun. over the middle, and that looked like contact. That will be a good call. 21 reached over, and that's interference. That'll be a first down for Hampton.
Well, that'll be from the from the line of scrimmage, Tim. They will not be from the point of the foul.
Unless it's 15 yards, less than 15 yards.
So it'll be half the distance of the goal line, but I think it's automatic first down.
So the defender.
We have defensive pass interference. First down.
Orange was the defender on the play, and he did get Carlos Campbell before the ball got there. But a ball just outside the 10. So it's actually 1st and 10 at the 11. The Crabbers can get a first down without scoring. Higgins wanting to race to the corner, got a block, he's in.
And there's the block by Carlos Campbell, Tim. Did a great job of sealing number 21, Orange. Never had a chance to even make a play on Higgins.
Marcus Higgins made it look easy, but he got a great block, a great lead block. He had a hole that he ran through right to the end zone from 11 yards out. Brian Smith will try the extra point. It's long enough, and it's good. These guys take a long time to show you where they're going.
Well, they kind of look at each other and say, what do you think? What do you think? I don't know. Where are you going after lunch, after the ball game? And there's the replay.
Replay of the touchdown. So Marcus Higgins now has accounted for 14 of the 17 points the Crabbers have on the board. And now let's see if Culpepper can answer.
I have to disagree with you. Marcus is responsible for 12 of the points.
Okay.
You're giving him Brian Smith.
Oh, you're right. Rushing 15 times for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. You are absolutely right.
The other 5 points are by who?
By Brian Smith.
There you go.
And I apologize to Brian. I should never have slighted him. I'll tell you something. That field goal could turn around to be a huge difference, because right now it is the difference. We've talked about the fact that Brian Smith has a great leg. That was 62 yards, 12 plays, and it took 4 minutes and 59 seconds for the Crabbers to respond. And that's the kind of response they needed to have. And they almost stumbled on the way with that big penalty after the completed pass. But like a true champion, they came back and scored. Brian Smith kicks it deep. And it's fumbled at the 12-yard line. And Kropp will get all the way out to the 25-yard line. So a good recovery by Kropp.
Sure was. After that was a kind of a knuckleball going down there.
So a 15-yard return. Watch the replay here. You're going to see him have difficulty with the ball. It took a nice bounce for him. Bounced basically right up into his hands, and a good cut by him. 13-yard return on a 52-yard kickoff. So now the Blue Devils find themselves behind once again by 3. 2:16 to go in the third. Again, out of the shotgun. Jenkins has all kinds of time. Finds a receiver. This is Dinkins. And Dinkins has a first down at the 41-yard line.
He's running a delay route across the middle. The other receiver goes down deep, kind of opens up that center, or the left side of that offensive or defensive backfield over there, and wide open. Watch the replay.
And again, Jenkins.
See, he's coming right in. He's really coming on a crossing route right behind the linebacker.
That young man has to be accounted for on defense. Again, Jenkins from the shotgun. Both teams exclusively going from the gun now, and this one's incomplete. That was intended for number 88. That's John Cagle.
John Cagle, a wide receiver, 6'1", 180.
So that stops the clock with 1:48 remaining in the third. Hampton 17, Culpepper 14. Hope you're enjoying this same-day coverage here on Channel 46. If you're watching this Saturday night, one of those golden opportunities for us to bring it to you almost live.
Almost live.
Got a packed house here at Darling Stadium, just the way it's supposed to be on a beautiful day. And we got a great game going. Hadn't been a while since Hampton's had this kind of competition in the flat. And Dinkins is pushed out of bounds, but he will pick up yardage to the 48-yard line.
That was, that was Derek Fenner on the stop.
Along with Fenner was number 21. That's Jimmy Williams Jr.
Well, that brings up a third and a long 3, a short 4.
Yep. Basically 4. So a big play here for Culpepper and Hampton as Culpepper clearly wants to keep this ball. Watch the replay there. You saw the final shot, but Dinkins is just eating up that defense. And Jenkins, his quarterback, is doing a great job. He's not even close to being sacked. Finding some pressure coming up, flag down.
The incomplete pass. It was just a kind of a go against the grain pass to Dinkins to let him pick up enough yardage for the first down, but we got illegal procedure.
Well, was it the dead ball?
Yeah, well, if it isn't, you say fourth down.
Exactly. If it's a dead ball foul, there's no option.
No, they're going to say no.
Yep.
Illegal formation on offense, decline.
Well, see, that was the difference in movement and illegal formation. That is the third time they've been called for illegal formation, Tim, not having 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
So now the punter will check in. Back deep, a pair of receivers, Higgins along with Campbell for the Crabbers. This is a fine-looking punt, too, fielded at the 13. The fake. Campbell still has it down the far sideline. He's got some running room. Winning. Tries to get him. He doesn't get him. Still in bounds. Campbell down to the 40-yard line.
Hey, he's amazing, Tim. Looks like he's either going to go out of bounds or be tackled.
This is when you and I have talked about it in a tight game, the difference between teams, special teams. Here's Carlos Campbell, the X Factor, as I dubbed him a couple of years ago, but he is outstanding. He will do everything for you. He's evasive, he's elusive, he's quick,
and he'll be back next year.
And he'll be back next year. Here's the replay. They faked the reverse to Higgins. That was a 51-yard punt return.
Watch this right here. This is a great move right here. Think he's down. Well, not going to go out of bounds.
Back to the live action. Higgins has the ball, and he's got a chance. And Higgins scores. Flag down on the play.
It may be against the Crabbers. And it's holding.
So another big play, and now another flag called on the sideline. Oh, boy, you can't lose your cool now. That's going to be a double foul. So instead of 6 points, it'll be a big penalty against Hampton. So another huge penalty here. Grabbers had a touchdown on the Higgins run, but it's called back.
This will be back-to-back penalties, Tim.
Yes, it sure will. And this will be a huge penalty.
Well, from the point of the infraction, or from I'll go from the first down marker, which is what, the 39. Well, I'm sorry, the 41.
I'm just going to let Dennis Hall tell us about it because he's got all the scoop.
Fence, 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
So now you're going to get your 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, which was behind the line of scrimmage. That's not bad enough. And now they're going to tack on 15 more for unsportsmanlike conduct.
We have a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on offense, first down.
So clearly somebody said something on the sideline that referee Dennis Hall flagged, and now the Crabbers, instead of being up by 9 points, are facing a first down and...
Well, it's from the 37 about to the 31.
So that's 13 and
about 30 yards.
13 and 19, 32 to be exact. First down and 32. So, Coach, you got one of those in your bag?
Yep. But you don't have to get it all back at one time.
No question about it. And this is Higgins. And Higgins across midfield down to about the 46-yard line, and he is shaken up on the play.
Steve Barber, number 5, making the stop, does not go with the stutter step of Higgins. He just figures Higgins is going to continue on. Well, that's big amount of that yardage. Picked up, what, almost a little over half of it, Tim.
Hampton Chevrolet is a locally owned business, and they strongly believe in supporting the community and the schools. Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. They marked the ball at the 46-yard line. It's 2nd down and 13, a much more workable, 14 at least, much more workable situation for the Crabbers. Again, out of the gun, Higgins wants to throw, got Carlos Campbell wide open, makes the grab at the 38-yard line.
Zone really kind of behind him low, but Campbell made a good catch on it, picked up some yardage.
You know, that's the kind of pass you want to keep low so only one person can catch that ball, and that's your man, because if the other guy catches it, he's gone. We're down to 1 second, no time remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Watch the replay.
Rifled, and a good job. I tell you, that was close to not being caught.
Yeah, you're right. We will pick a player for the game from the Hampton Crabbers this afternoon. That player will receive a plaque and a shirt. Plaque comes from Engraving Inc., located at Tab Square on Route 17. For all your engraving needs, contact Jim at 596-8850. That's 596-8850. Dave Buckwald is the owner. Shirt comes from the Island of Hardware and Sporting Goods. They're located in Pocosin. They can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment and uniforms, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. That's 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner.
Yeah, you see the Hampton Crabber fans, and they are here in droves. Packed house, people standing around the fence and the end zone bleachers that were added for this game. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz says we have 12 minutes remaining in regulation. Of course, there is overtime in high school football, so that is a possibility. Our difference in the ball game right now is a 25-yard field goal by Brian Smith as he kicked it as time expired in the first half. The Crabbers had a touchdown call back and then a 30-yard or 25-yard penalty as a result of it. So not only did they not get a touchdown, but it moved them way out of field position. So now they're looking at 3rd down and about 7, a crucial 3rd down for Hampton. They'll be looking into the sun here in the 4th quarter. Higgins from the shotgun dropped the snap. Now Higgins is sacked all the way back to the 48-yard line. Look to see, I don't see any penalty markers. Higgins was shaken up on that previous play, Bob. I'm not sure how healthy he is right now.
But I tell you,
slow to get up.
That direct snap is kind of floated back, and he kind of took his eye off of it.
Yep. It looked like he was looking for the official to call a face mask. Minus 13 yards, and Alan Johnson will come on to punt the ball. Standing at his 35-yard line. Takes the snap, no pressure. Relatively short kick. Crabbers hoping to get a bounce. They don't, as it bounced back towards Hampton, and now the Blue Devils will have a ball at the 32-yard line. Great field position. 11:08 in the 4th quarter.
Printing is our only game, and we're very good at what we do, so whatever your printing needs are, call Gear Up Printing at 827-8277.
And a reminder that Hampton Chevrolet urges you to support the community by giving to the Peninsula United Way campaign. Give all year, not just during the drive, give all year. It's a very worthwhile cause.
Now the pressure's on the Crabber defense to see if they can stop this passing attack.
Yeah, you said it, Bob. Championships are won by defense. This is Jones, and Brandon Jones loses a yard.
Jones.
So
Jones tackles Jones, right?
Jones on Jones for a 1-yard loss.
Need car insurance? Get the best. Call Robert Mann and James Hudson, your Allstate agents at 942 Big Bethel Road. Give them a call, 827-1200.
2nd down and 11 for the Blue Devils.
Passing situation, but they're going from under the center rather than a shotgun formation.
Straight back to pass. Again, Jenkins has not been rushed all day. Has some running room. The big quarterback picks up yardage to the 35-yard line.
He slipped him, or he may have picked up some more yardage.
So he picks up about 5, and that brings up a 3rd down and 6. The Blue Devils need to get to the to their 41-yard line. Here's the replay. Jenkins, not the most mobile of quarterbacks, but when you're 6'4", 235.
You can fall forward and get a couple yards, right?
Yes, you can. Now they need more than a couple, though. 3rd down and 6. Big play for both teams.
Out of the shotgun.
And now timeout being signaled by the sideline. There was something about the alignment or something that Coach Sorrentino did not like. And rather than make a mistake on a crucial 3rd down and 6, they call a timeout. Well, the winner of this game will travel to Richmond, the University of Richmond to be exact, next Saturday afternoon. And right now, this one is anyone's ball game.
Well, 1 o'clock is that game. The 4 o'clock game will be between the Division 6 champions. And there we go. Bunny Brown in his normal position. You better give us a wave here, Bunny. We're getting you on TV, making you look good. There you go. Thank you, Bunny.
Well, it's getting down to some crunch time here, Bob, because this is a huge play.
Yeah, I talked to Bunny on the way up here, and he says, I don't tell your partner how good he gets because I don't want him to get the big head. And I said, I appreciate that because right now the headsets are stretched as far as they can go.
Well, I can top that. He calls me Bob. So out of the shotgun, Jenkins, no pressure, throws long. He's got a man open, knocked down at the last second by Marcus Higgins.
He had his hand on the ball, Tim, and almost brought it in.
He's slow to get up, though. And he might have pulled a muscle. And the official asked him, are you all right? Now, if he comes out for a play, or if they call a timeout is what I'm trying to say. Watch the replay here. What a leap by Higgins to prevent what looked to be a great-looking pass. But Higgins shaken up on the play. He was hurt a couple of plays ago. He's not at 100% right now. So Bates, but he'd get a rocket off. Campbell will take it at the 19-yard line. Tries to take the sideline, now goes up the middle. And Culpepper stops him short of the 28-yard line.
About 5 white jerseys around that. Very good special teams, the Culpepper.
Let me tell you something. I have, and you and I both have watched football for a long time. This is the 20th year we've been doing Hampton City football. This Culpepper team is as good as any we've seen outside of the Peninsula District. Here's your replay from the 19.
Well, Marcus comes back in, Tim.
That was a 46-yard punt with a 9-yard return.
And that was kind of a line drive.
Oh, man, he just hit a rocket. But it was such great special teams play by Culpepper allowed the team to get down there and stop him. Want to go deep. He's got Callaway. It's tipped away. Incomplete.
We had 3 defenders back there on Callaway, Tim, and wide open, standing over here about 10 yards down was Carlos Campbell.
That happens. Here's your replay.
He just didn't run very far down on the field. This is Callaway there right there, and you see Campbell just kind of stopping wide open there as a decoy, but nobody picked him up.
Carlos Campbell comes out.
Trevor Booth, number 24, comes in.
That's a name I haven't called. Campbell might have been shaken up on the play. 2nd and 10, 9:22 left. Higgins, it looks like a straight run, and Culpepper's ready for that.
I tell you, they have done a good job of breaking down the films and looking at what Hampton does for the most part, and they're there defensively to stop that.
So the ball at the Hampton 27-yard line is 3rd down and 12. Here's your replay. But again, just some excellent job by the Culpepper defensive line to shoot the gaps.
Well, Hampton needs to hurry up so they don't get a 5-yard delay a game penalty here.
3rd and 12. It's long enough already. They don't want to add to that. Fenner comes to the near side.
That's what it is.
And that's what happens. Took too much time.
Well, I saw the referee, Dennis Hall, he wound the clock, and then he looked down, and enough time had taken place.
So now it's 3rd down and 17. Fenner sets up to the near side. Craig Rogers comes over to cover him. Single coverage. He's laying off him. Higgins wants to throw, and it's Fenner he throws to at the 45-yard line, and that will be a first down. What a beautiful throw for Marcus Higgins.
And right where nobody's going to catch it but Derek Fenner.
I saw him playing way off of him, Bob. He was 10 yards off of Fenner, and Fenner just got open in the slant, 23 yards.
And Craig Rogers, number one, was back. He was one of the cornerbacks on that side. And you're right, he was a good 10 yards off of Fenner.
What a clutch play by the Crabbers to get a fresh set of downs at their 45. Higgins, inside handoff. This is Mac Jones. And Jones is tripped up at the 30-yard line, but that'll be another Hampton first down.
Well, they were looking for a pass, Tim, and what a good time to call that straight ahead play with Mac Jones.
25 yards on the play from Big Mac. So the Crabbers get a fresh set of downs. Here's your replay. Huge hole. And Jones, for a big man, is quick. Followed his blocking very nicely. First down at the Culpepper 30. Higgins under center now. And gives to Chuck Forte as the Crabbers now will keep the ball on the ground and just try and wedge the ball forward. And they do it for about a yard or two.
It was him. They hit him with the 30. And he kept dragging about 4 or 5 Culpepper Blue Devils. Picked up about a yard on the play.
7:25 and the clock is moving. Hampton has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Culpepper has 2. Crabbers up by just a field goal. Had a big touchdown call back on a holding call. Higgins. Now Higgins will call timeout.
I think he tried to draw him offside.
So they burn a very important timeout with 7:05 left in regulation time. You know, one of the questions I heard you ask Coach Sorrentino was about his kicking game. He didn't get into particulars, but we don't know whether Culpepper has a good field goal kicker or not.
Well, he says he's got a lot of confidence in his kicker. He says our punting game is shaky, but
I haven't seen anything shaky about their punting.
I haven't either.
I haven't seen anything shaky about their game. They have played extremely well. This has been the best competitive game we've seen in a long time.
Well, and it's a good game plan coming in by the Culpepper Blue Devils. The coaching staff has done a great job over there. You got Dave Boley, Todd Campbell, Steve Parker, Dave Richardson, Dre Marks, and Joe Macalandra helping Lou Sorrentino. And, of course, over here with the Crabbers, you know who we got over there. Mike Smith, of course, with Elvis Mann, Danny Mitchell, Lanny Franklin, Tony Carlson, Kenneth Gilliam, Shannon Smith, Adolph Hawkins, Brian Zurzak, Terry Van, and Darrell Fenner.
And officials stoppage of play here for equipment problems. Higgins talking to Dennis Hall. 2nd down and 9. Crabbers want to stick it in the end zone. Like to take about 7 minutes to do it. Higgins, and now he'll throw as he was wrapped up. The ball is loose and it's intercepted. Down the sideline. And Culpepper comes up with the INT, and Higgins is down.
And he was being pulled on as he threw that ball, Tim, and it was anybody's ball. There were 4 players around it, 2 from each team. This will be a big blow to the Crabbers if Marcus is hurt to the point he can't come back out.
We got an official's timeout. Here you see him, and he was nailed just as he threw the ball in the grasp of a tackler. Almost caught the young man who made the interception back at the 5-yard line, but he didn't. And that was Stefan Orange, number 21, with the pick. Now Higgins will have to come out for at least 1 down. And, of course, his return has to be in question. He is an integral part of the defense for the Crabbers, and Culpepper's had fair success throwing the ball. 17-14, 6:49 left in regulation. Culpepper has the ball at their 36-yard line.
And if you're Culpepper, you're just exactly where the coach Sorrentino told me that if they can be in the game in the 4th quarter, they feel they got a chance. Well, not only do they have a chance, they've got the ball with 6 minutes plus to go.
Jenkins again with all kinds of time, finds Dinkins over the middle. And Dinkins is across midfield to the Hampton 48-yard line.
That's the play that they tried to run earlier. He just comes on a slant pattern across the middle underneath the coverage. Great timing on that pass play by the Blue Devils.
Clock is restarted. A little more than 6.5 minutes to go. And the ball got on the field. They got it off before the play. Jones, Brandon Jones carries to the 43. So he picks up 5. Hampton defense has done it all year long. They've got to come up big now as we are approaching the 6-minute mark. Mark and Kenny of the Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling remind you that now is the time to get your furnace checked before the cold winter months. And boy, they're coming. Going to be in the 40s this coming week. 825-1416 or 850-5564. Never an overtime charge with Stallion Brothers.
And they answer the phone. You give them a call, they do answer the phone.
Out of the shotgun, Jenkins has not been sacked all day. And this is the first time they've gotten him all day long.
Anthony Ware.
He hasn't even been close to being stopped.
But also back there was Big Cat Williams. A big loss for him. A third now makes it 3rd and 13.
And they give him a pretty good spot.
And he was hit, Tim, but boy, he's a hard guy to bring down, Jenkins is.
He's a hoss. 49-yard line of Culpepper, and they have called a timeout, or someone has called a timeout at least.
I believe it's they have, because they've only got one left.
And I guess you would. This is really probably the most important play of the ball game to this point.
And you can't go for it on 4th in this position if you don't make it, Tim. And I'll tell you why, because you give the Crabbers too good a field position. They get down and they can run the clock out. You try to get them deep in their end, maybe make a turnover, cause a turnover, and get the ball in good field position. So I really have doubts that they would go for it on 4th, but
well, let's see how much they have to go for it. If in fact they need to go for it. They may get it all on this one. Hagens is back in the lineup. Now check that, he's not. Hagens was with the huddle, now he's coming in. Jenkins 11 out of 16 for 155 yards. He's just been solid all day long. And his offensive line has been the big difference. He throws well and he has plenty of time. Those are 2 ingredients. All right, Hampton faithful trying to cheer on the Hampton Crabbers from the gun. Alfonso Gunter is chasing Jenkins. Jenkins has some running room, and he is down short of the first down at the 44-yard line.
Well, he's good 5 yards short. So if you're the coach, you say, well, let's go for it. He's going to go for it, Tim. I don't see the punter coming in.
5 minutes exactly as you watch the replay. Gunter putting some pressure on Jenkins, but Jenkins, the big quarterback, just rumbled down the field and picked up yardage, but it's 4th. All right. 4:45. This is, for all intents and purposes, the ball game. Jenkins has plenty of time over the middle and caught it. Jenkins has the ball at the 23-yard line.
What a catch by number 8, Jenkins.
All right, we'll return to Darling Stadium for the conclusion of the ball game after this brief timeout. First down at the Hampton 24. They give to Jones, Brandon Jones. Not much happening there.
They just trade ahead, trying to see if they could pick up some yardage. They got plenty of time.
Well, they, if nothing else, if they've got a kicker, they're within some reasonable range here. The ball is inside the Hampton 20. And of course, the Hampton Crabbers would love to create a turnover here. Clock moving, 3:45, 17-14. Hampton clinging to a 3-point lead. Ryan Smith is the difference in this ball game. Shovel pass, Jones, Brandon Jones, he's down inside the 11. That'll be another first down.
That's the second time they've run that play, and it's the second time it's been very successful.
That'll stop the clock while they move the chains.
They are at the, what about the 12-yard line, so they can pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, first down at the 12. Well within field goal range, which would tie the game, but they don't want a field goal right now. Culpepper looking for the big upset. Brandon Jones stacked up. Nothing happening there.
Maybe a yard.
Might have gotten down to about the 10.5. Let's see where they spot it. Looks like they'll give him the ball at the 10. Clock moving inside of 3 minutes to go. The Hampton faithful sitting, the Culpepper faithful standing and cheering on the far side. There you see the time and the score. Hampton by 3. Desperately needing a stop, if not a fumble or an interception of some kind of turnover here to hold on. Jenkins again, all kinds of time over the middle. Incomplete, almost picked off. Incomplete pass will bring up a third down and 8.
Mike Jenkins pass intended for number 80.
He was intending that ball for John Cagle.
He really was, Tim, and when he threw the ball, it went through, there were 4 crabbers there.
Boy, would a pick been what Hampton needed right there.
Chris Perry, number 55, comes in for Chuck Forte.
So here it is, and now they're going to have to burn their final timeout.
Well, Tim, at this point, if you don't pick it up, you got to think they got to go for the field goal.
Well, I tell you, Bob, it doesn't get any better than this.
What
I
a
mean
game.
that for real. This is everything anyone would want it to be.
You mean you usually don't say that for real?
Last 2 games have been pretty boring from the side of competitiveness. After the game, make that trip to Zoom's. Zoom's is your friendly neighborhood store. They've got that fried chicken, potato wedges, Citgo gas, Beantown coffee, and much more at Citgo. Zoom Citgo. We'll have a player of the game, but right now that player is still up in the air. What do you think, Bob?
I'll tell you. You got to look at the backfield doing a great job. Mike Smith doing a good job. Michael Smith doing a great job at the center, as is the offensive guards for the Crabbers. We're talking about Chris Perry and Dale Tidwell, and the tackles Robbie Robinson and Raymond Man. Big play.
3rd and 8. Flag down. Looks like Hampton might have jumped.
I think they did. Somebody moved on that defensive side, it looked like.
Huge penalty here. Was it against the offense? It's against the offense.
Oh, well, he moved because somebody on the offense moved.
So a big 5-yard penalty moves them out to the 15-yard
We have a dead ball, false start, offense, 3rd down.
There you see what happened, but the ball out to the 15, and now it's 3rd and 13. 2:27 left. Hampton has 2 timeouts remaining. Culpepper has none. Out of the shotgun, Jenkins rolling, wanting to throw in the end zone, throws, and it's too tall.
And that's not a bad throw that time, Tim. It was too throw, but he threw it to the back of the end zone where only his guy could have caught it. But you are going for the field goal, it looks like. It brings in, was that number 12 coming in?
Mike Greenaway will try a field goal, apparently.
And this will be spotted at, looks like about the 22, make a 32-yarder.
32-yard attempt to tie the ball game. This is Culpepper's last chance. The kick is long enough.
It's good.
And it's good.
But we still got 2 minutes and 13 seconds. Crabbers can get down within field goal range.
So Greenaway, under the pressure, kicks a 32-yard field goal. And so Hampton now with 2 timeouts remaining in regulation. And again, I emphasize that because there is overtime. We'll get into what happens in overtime if we do. But Hampton, I've talked about their special teams all year. And now they've got to really call upon that special team. This is on the sideline. If you're the coach, you're saying, all right, everybody, no block in the back, no low blocks, and make sure you've got your head in front of the guy and make sure you block somebody.
And block somebody.
Well, Hagen's no slouch in the return department, but he may not be out there on the return. I'm looking to see where.
No, he's not. They got 22 back there, and that's Alexander Mann along with Derek Fenner and Carlos Campbell.
Now, there's nothing wrong with either one of those 3. Now, let's see. Do they kick it deep? And it's a squib kick. Interesting. That ball is a live ball. And Hampton has it at their 25-yard line.
Nice move by Alexander Mann, Tim, coming up to make sure you down that ball.
On that scoring drive, it was 64 yards, took 12 plays and 4 minutes and 36 seconds for the Blue Devils of Culpepper. Let's see what they can do on defense now.
Well, the Crabbers have 75 yards to go with a little over 2 minutes.
I don't think there's anyone has left the stadium.
Well, if they have, they're not a real football fan.
Higgins from under the center gives to Mac Jones, and Jones is out to the 29-yard line, a relatively conservative play.
Tripped up by number 32, Jeremy Bailey, another one of those inside linebackers.
We're inside of 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Hampton 17, Culpepper 17. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz bringing you the game of the year. One of these teams will go on to the finals next week. Higgins wants to throw and is batted down. Higgins was trying to get it to Carlos Campbell, but a good job by someone on the line there to bat that ball down.
Jeremy Bailey, number 32 again. That's the second time he's I've called his number, and that brings up a 3rd and 7.
This is not a gimme.
No, it isn't.
You got to remember now, if they have to kick the ball, a lot of things can happen when you have to kick it. Here's the replay. You're going to see Bailey come over and bat the ball down. This was intended for Campbell. He was out on a quick, and Bailey just got a big paw up there and batted it down. From the shotgun. Looked like Jones might have left a little early, but no flag. Higgins trying to find someone to throw to. He's got Fenner downfield, and he can't bring it in. Derek Fenner, had he caught it, would have had it at the 26-yard line. But a fine effort by both Higgins and Fenner comes up short.
Now, Tim, that brings up a 4th down.
Hampton just didn't have anybody to throw the ball to, Bob. Higgins looked around. He wanted to go short. He wanted to get a first down and maybe create something, but there was nothing there. Culpepper had everybody covered. Had Fenner brought that one in, it would have been a spectacular catch. So Johnson now will be on to punt for the Crabbers with 125, or not 125, but 85 seconds, a minute 25. And now we've got a timeout. Now Hampton has 2, and they've used one of those remaining 2 on this play. Higgins in the game, 7 of 15 with 1 interception and 173 yards. And Higgins, of course, has scored 2 touchdowns. 193 yards all total on the passing attack. Right now, we've already seen that Culpepper has a kicker and a 32-yarder under as big a pressure as you can have. Alan Johnson will be in deep punt formation for the Crabbers.
Tim, that field goal was about as far as the field goal that Colorado had with the 1 second to go to beat Nebraska yesterday, and young man missed it.
That was not an easy kick. That was not a gimme.
That's the point I'm making. A lot of pressure on that kick.
All right, now your special teams, you got to make sure you get the punt away. You got to make sure you prevent the big run back. Johnson standing back at his 15. It's a good snap. There's no rush. And Johnson's punt will be fielded at the 36-yard line and taken down right at the 40-yard line. And that is Steve Barber who did the returning for Culpepper.
Great field position on about the 39, right, Mel? I think they're going to mark it at the 40.
It looks like they'll mark it exactly at the 40. So a minute 14 left. Tie ball game. 36-yard punt with a 4-yard return.
No timeouts left for the Culpepper team.
Right. Here's the replay. You're going to see Barber stood up at the 40.
So this is where you hope your defense can come up with a turnover, a pick.
Fumble.
Well, they got it back. Bounced right back up into the ball carrier's hand, Tim.
Brandon Jones.
They may be just playing for overtime.
Well, Hampton only has one timeout remaining, so they're apparently not in any hurry to use it. I guess if you're Hampton, you'd be content to put this one into overtime. Here's the play where Brandon Jones almost gave it up. That ball was loose. He got a great bounce, came right back to him. Picked up a yard as a result of it. And a fumble again. Ball's on the ground, and the Hampton Crabbers got it.
And that was an exchange from the center to the quarterback, Tim. There was no handout involved there, or handoff.
I think that was Robinson.
Orlando.
What is it you call him, though?
Robbie.
So the Crabbers.
And it's not Orlando, it's Orlando.
No R.
34
ticks of the clock. The Crabbers now with a chance. They have one timeout remaining. Higgins will work from the shotgun. Again, no pressure. He's got all kinds of time. Wants to throw long. He's got Campbell down the field, and Campbell almost brought it in at the goal line. Flags, none to be seen. That would have been the ball game if Campbell had been able to bring it in. .26 seconds remaining in regulation. Here's the replay. Higgins had all kinds of time. The offensive line just did a great job of blocking. And there you see, oh, man.
A little bit of contact, but incidental.
Oh, that was a good no call. 2nd and 10.
We got movement on the Crabbers offensive line.
And, you know, that might have been a case where the defense caused that.
Yep.
They looked like they jumped.
Well,
somewhat.
32, Jeremy Bailey was coming from his linebacker.
Full start, offense, second down.
That the tackler guard on that side, I'm not sure which one, saw that, knew he had to pick him up, and just moved a little early, a little premature.
Good timing by the defensive player to cause the tackle to leave early. He knew he had to block, protect. 2nd down and 15.
We're going to have 4 wide receivers.
Just one blocking back. Higgins has plenty of time. He's going to loft it downfield. And it's incomplete, intended for Alexander Mann. Again, no hankies anywhere, so that'll bring up 3rd down and 14. 15 seconds remaining. Hampton going for all of it, hoping to get a
Let me tell you how
catch.
bad the sun is coming in that time. One of the officials tossed the ball to the other one, and he had to turn his back. He couldn't see the ball because it was right in the sun. And he looked at him, he said, throw it low, throw it low.
Here's the replay. Higgins with all kinds of time. Just lofted it up for Alexander Mann, and he couldn't bring it in. That was a little too long for Mann. 3rd down and 15. Again, Higgins from the gun has plenty of time. Looking for a receiver. Almost picked off by Winning. Daniel Winning got a hand on it with 9 seconds remaining. It's now 4th down. So what do you do, Bob?
You go for the end zone.
Go for the end zone and give the ball to them if there's still some time remaining and make them go 50 yards or intercept the ball. Here's the replay. Higgins just batted away by Daniel Winning, who's just been outstanding on defense and offense this afternoon for Culpepper. Again, we hope we're pronouncing some of these names correctly. We did not have the luxury of knowing for certain. 4th down and 16. Mac Jones goes in motion. Hagan's out of the gun. Wants to go to Mac Jones, and it's too tall. And the ball will go over with 4 seconds. Just enough time for one long attempt if you're so inclined.
Well, and Tim, you got this to look at too. If there's a defensive foul, the game cannot end on a defensive foul.
Now, what do you do, Bob? If you're Culpepper, do you take a knee?
Go for it.
Take a knee or try to go for it?
No, go for it. What, you haven't got anything to lose. You know, because your people out there are so good at tackling that you figure if Hampton does intercept it, that we're going to be able to bring them down. So I think you got to go for it.
They are. Double wides, top of the screen. To the near side, that is Brandon Jones. Dinkle, who has just killed Hampton this afternoon, is going deep. Jenkins wants to throw it to him. He is down there, and it is intercepted. So Derek Fenner will intercept the pass, and that will be the end of regulation.
All right, now this is what we got to do. You want to talk about it?
This is real easy. They will have a couple of minutes to regroup. Watch the replay here, and I'll tell you about the overtime. Jenkins just heaved that ball about 60 yards, and why not, like you said. The overtime gives the ball to each team. They have an equal opportunity to score. You get the ball. If you win the toss, there will be a toss of the coin. You have the choice, if you win the toss, to either play defense or go on offense first. The secret or the best advantage you have is if you win the toss and you go on defense first. That's what you want. Now the other team has 4 downs to score from the 10-yard line. And if they do score, whether it's a touchdown, a field goal, or whatever, then you get the ball and you get to do the same. If you fumble the ball or it's intercepted, that's it. The other team gets it at the 10. So you've got to be very careful not to give the ball up, because then the other team can just virtually kick what would be, in essence, a field goal from an extra point distance.
There you go. I think you got it right. And if nobody scores, or if they both score a touchdown or both score a field goal, they just do it again, flip of the coin, and go again. Woo, what a game.
Well, I won't even do the old hate to see someone lose cliche, but
somebody's got to lose. There's no doubt about that.
This has been as good a game as we have seen in years. Certainly not Hampton's best effort, but it's through no lack of effort. They've just run into a very good Culpepper team.
They really have, Tim.
No question about it. Well, let's you want to reserve our player of the game here to see how this shakes out?
Yeah, I think we ought to.
See how this one shakes out. Both teams huddling on the sidelines. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and the entire Channel 46 crew with Bob Killen doing the stats. Hope you've enjoyed this one. If you don't, you just don't like football.
And we do appreciate our corporate sponsors, Tom Gear Printing, David Allen at Zooms, Wood Funeral Home, Hampton Chevrolet, Allstate agents Robert Mann and James Hudson, Stallion Brothers, just to name a few. We appreciate their help. Of course, the player of the game plaque and shirt comes from Engraving Inc. and Islander Hardware and Sporting Goods. So all those people have brought you a great contest today. Woo.
Yeah, I guess. My throat hurt before I got here. But I'm sure glad I didn't have to miss it. Now that sun becomes a factor here.
As it goes down further and further. And that's what you're thinking now. Do you want your quarterback looking in the sun, or do you want your receivers looking into the sun?
Dennis Hall and his officials have been on both sides of the field.
And Rico late in the 4th quarter leading Yorktown 35-0.
It looks from what we've just heard that the winner of this game will play Henrico, as they in the 4th quarter are leading Yorktown 35-0. So, of course, by the time you see this game, you will know the outcome
of both games.
And you will know. We were sure glad to be able to bring you same-day coverage right here on Channel 46.
We'll listen to
big toss of the coin coming up here.
Dennis Hall. I hope he turns on his mic.
Seems like we just started this a while ago, gentlemen. I hate overtime, okay? But we got to play it by the rules. I'm going to flip it. You're going to get your choice. The choices are offense, defense, into the field. Both of you know what your coaches want you to do. Call it in the air, real loud so these gentlemen can hear it. Heads he called. Tail, your choice. You want defense or you want this end of the field. Turn around this way, gentlemen.
Hampton
you
won the
stand
toss.
Right there.
The
No,
crowd doesn't
back
know
this
it
way.
yet.
Back this way. You stand right there. You put your back that way. We got a first down that way, gentlemen. Let's go. Play ball.
So the crowd not responding, but that is a huge opportunity. And again, the importance of this is if you can hold the team to no score or a field goal, then you know what you have to do on offense.
Well, but also if you're the coach on the other side and you got to be on defense first, offense first, what you got to tell your team is say, okay, we got to score a touchdown and we got to put pressure on them, make them score a touchdown. And so you got to try to make that, weave that into your philosophy and what you want to accomplish. But I'm sure that Coach Sorrentino told his young man when you got to, you call the flip if you win. We want defense first.
And again, we can't emphasize enough, this is not sudden death. Each team gets an equal opportunity to score.
The difference between this and in college ball, they start from the 25, but in the third overtime, you have to go for a 2-point conversion if you score a touchdown. This is a little different wrinkle.
Referee Hall signaling for the Blue Devils to come on the field. So first and goal at the 10 is what we have here.
No clock other than the officials' clock for the amount of time you got to get a playoff.
Who do you go to if you're Culpepper?
You go to Jenkins.
Jenkins, if you can. Jenkins wants to throw over the middle, almost picked off. A lot of contact there, and
that was two crabbers.
Yeah, it looked like two crabbers that had the contact. So, ball was whistled by
that was
Jenkins.
Hagens. Who was that? Hagens and Fenner.
Actually, I think it was Carlos Campbell.
Okay.
7-2, I think. Here's your replay. Jenkins really threw this hard. A couple of crabbers. Jenkins didn't see Dinkins. Dinkins was open if he had floated it to the back. Second and goal. Jenkins has plenty of time. Throws incomplete. Third and goal at the 10.
And Tim, he is looking into the sun. He being Jenkins.
Now a turnover will wipe out this effort by the Blue Devils. A turnover will give Hampton the ball with first and goal at the same 10-yard line. But that's a big if. Jenkins checks back in. Hampton faithful trying to make some noise. They're stunned. I don't think they have expected anything like this from Culpepper. Jenkins with lots of time, almost picked off. Carlos Campbell had it and couldn't hold on to it. And again, Jenkins has got some mustard on that ball.
Yeah, they're going for the field goal, Tim. What you got to do, you got to come away with some points.
Already hit a 32-yarder to tie this ball game.
This will be about a 27-yarder.
Yeah, Greenaway, no question. This is no gimme here. But if Hampton can prevent them from kicking the field goal, then they'll have a golden opportunity. But a lot of ifs here. Greenaway, kick is up. It's long enough.
It looks good.
And it's good. So Greenaway with 2 field goals in the ball game. 27-yard field goal gives the lead to Culpepper, but this is the advantage we talked about now. Hampton has 4 downs, and if they get a touchdown, this game is over.
That's it. And they don't have to go for the extra points. You just get the score. At this point, Hampton knows we got 3 downs to get it into the end zone. If we don't, we got a good field goal kicker in Brian Smith.
How important, in retrospect, was that field goal at the end of the first half?
Huge. Huge.
All right, the Hampton faithful trying to get their Crabbers in the end zone. Higgins will take the ball from under center. Higgins still has the ball, and he is wrapped up. A flag comes down, 2 flags.
And it may have had face mask.
Well, by the response I see from Derek Fenner, that might be the call. It is. That's a major penalty, half the distance to the goal.
And it's still first down, and this is something that Marcus Higgins has been saying all game. They're getting part of my face mask.
With a face mask, defense, half the distance, first down.
Still first down, but now it's at the 5-yard line. Marcus Higgins, shaken up earlier, gives the ball to Mac Jones, and Jones is down inside the 3.
Now
second down.
Remember what we saw down here with Hampton with the 1st and goal from the 1. Took them 4 downs to get it in.
We know Culpepper's got a defense. There's no question about that. Watch the replay.
It's just a straight ahead, no wrinkles. Picked up, what, a yard?
Back to the live action. Didn't have that one for you. That's okay. This is the important play right here. 2nd and goal. Carlos Campbell split wide to the right. Fenner to the near side. And now a timeout called by Higgins. I'm not sure how many times. I think they get 2 in each.
Well, Hampton had 1 going in.
I don't know whether you're allowed to keep those or not. I think you only get 1 each. Looks like 1 on each team on the board. I don't know whether you save the timeout. So they were allowed to carry that over. They had 1, and now they have 1 left. Each team is given 1 in the overtime.
There ain't no stopping anybody. There's no stopping the line. You got to move your feet. Get over here, Drake. Get up up here.
It's up on the sideline. See if you can hear something.
I tell you what. No, my guy, let's go. I got you. Hurry up.
What we heard is
fade. I heard the word fade. I don't know whether.
Well, a fade pass into the end zone.
I got to tell you, though, when you got the running backs, Forte and Jones and Higgins' quickness.
Well, you got Campbell split well to the real wide to the top of the screen.
2nd and goal in the first overtime. Hampton has to score. Higgins will not get there. He's stopped cold at the 5-yard line. And Higgins is going to get a penalty. You can't do that. Higgins just threw the ball at the defender. 15-yard penalty going to be called. And that'll be a dead ball foul, so the play will stand. Oh, my goodness, what a huge mistake that was.
That takes it back to the 20, so you got 3rd and 20, and it would make a 37-yard field goal from this point.
You can see it on the screen. Higgins upset, threw the ball at the Culpepper player. You just can't do that. It's a good call. 3rd down and goal from the 20. Now, if they don't make this, then you got to hope Brian Smith can kick a long field goal. Instead of a golden opportunity of 2nd and goal at the 3, now we've got a stoppage. Timeout called. So Hampton calls their final timeout. Our score, Culpepper 20, Hampton 17. The Crabbers have to score at least a field goal to stay in the game. Standing, both sides. They have seen one whale of a football game. Now the Crabbers have to get either in the end zone or get close enough for Brian Smith to kick a field goal.
Well, we know he can kick it from this distance. But the closer you can get, the better percentages he is, I'm sure.
At this point, it would be a 37-yard attempt. Mac Jones in motion to the near side. Higgins has time. Throws for Mac Jones.
No, that's for Campbell.
Is that Campbell?
Yeah.
Carlos Campbell. A lot of contact, but apparently ruled to be incidental. So now you've got 4th down, and Brian Smith will come on and try and tie this game and force a second overtime. Pass for Campbell, just too tall. So this one will be a 37-yard field goal attempt. Brian Smith, who has a very strong leg. This is your ball game. It's long enough.
No, it's off to the side.
Culpepper has won the ball game. The goal was long enough, but it was wide to the left. And Culpepper upsets the undefeated Hampton Crabbers 20-17 in overtime.
Tim, our players of the game today, Alexander Mann and Michael Smith. Congratulations to those 2 young men.
Let me tell you something. I know this is going to sound like a horrible cliche, but you can't look past the fact that Hampton had an outstanding year. Yeah, is it ever a successful year if you don't win the state championship? Probably not, because you set your standards so high. But these young men have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. They played their hearts out. They ran into a good football team from Culpeper.
Well, I tell you, this Culpepper team did all the basics that you need to do, and one of them was playing good, solid defense, good tackling, keeping the Crabbers bottled up, not letting them get outside, not letting the Marcus Hagens and use his little stutter step and pick up a lot of yardage. They really shut down that big play that the Crabbers have had all year. And congratulations to them.
Absolutely. The Crabbers had a touchdown by Hagens called back on a penalty. And then when they protested the penalty, got a 15-yard penalty on top of that, a 30-yard penalty. So today's broadcast has been underwritten by the following: Hampton Chevrolet at 1073 West Mercury Boulevard. By Zoom Sitco with 5 convenient Hampton locations.
When gearing up for your next print job, call Gear Up.
By your Allstate agents, Robert Mann and James Hudson. And in part by Stallion Brothers Heating and Cooling. And in part by Wood Funeral Home. Well, Bob, it's been a terrific year. The Hampton Crabbers played extremely well in this game. It was a beautifully played game. And Culpepper just won it in the long run.
Well, they really did, Tim. But when you are playing a team that is well prepared and well coached, as the Culpepper Blue Devils are, anything can happen. And Coach Sorrentino said, if I can be in the game in the 4th quarter, then I figure I got a chance. Well, he had a chance. They tied it up, kicked the field goal in overtime, and the Crabbers missed theirs. And there's the game, and that's the season for the Crabbers. But what a great year they had.
I got to tell you, the Hampton fans are standing. They're just standing, and they're stunned. They're stunned, exactly. They're just stunned. This team, I said it a couple of times during the regular season, they're as good a team as I've seen. I said they were better than some of the Curry-led teams overall, in my opinion, just my opinion. But they met a team from Culpeper that wanted it badly. And they came up with the win, 20-17. All right, that's going to do it for us here at Darling Stadium. The final score again is Culpepper 20 and Hampton 17 in overtime. For Bob Henson, Bob Killen, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon, everybody.